of solves that issue a bit.
Well, they've
Could be actually, it could be tiny mid. If it's tiny mid, then they have tempo, and that's fine.
I have not seen the tiny mid much.
Yeah, we saw it actually last series. Yeah, the one that Sinner and Sunsfan tested. There was a mid tiny. And Sumail has been spamming it. Okay, Pugna.
It's going to be a mid Pugna. I like this a lot.
That's a super good pick, actually.
Big.
Very good counter against Roar. There's a lot of physical damage dealers on Khan. Not really any magical burst. So Decrep is going to be a very potent save ability in this game. And obviously you can like life drain and stuff. I think it's mostly just for the fact that it does give them some semblance of siege. Up until this point, they had no hero that really threatens buildings whatsoever. The Beastmaster, they do have Witch Doctor, which is nice. It's good at stunning the boars, the creeps, or whatever, the necro minions. But they didn't have anything to really deal with the Roar itself, and now they do, as long as he's not the one getting roared out.
That Pugna, like, weirdly dynamic in that way. He does so much damage. He's so good at taking objectives, but he also has that nice little save for you. So support Tiny. All right, what do Khan want? They've decided it's the Queen of Pain, so they're going to go pretty classic here.
Okay. I mean, it's not...
You know, I actually like both drafts here. They're very different. They have different merits.
Yeah, I do too.
But they both have strengths. You know, like, I don't think this is an out draft at all. This is going to be all down to the execution, which makes me really excited.
If I had to favor one side, I would favor Khan, just because I think if the game goes too late, they will simply not have damage to kill Terrorblade. Like, once Terrorblade gets BKB, if the Void can't kill him in a Chrono, there's going to be a huge issue, and there's also a save. So when I look at lineups like this, and like you're saying, it is pretty even. I'm just saying that if you think the draft is even, try to think about how the cores play the game. And whoever has the more difficult game is usually the one at a disadvantage in terms of like hero matchups. So if the Void Chronos be annoying, you can still get roared. You know, if it's TB and he has BKB, you are basically all of the damage in that sphere minus like Death Ward, which doesn't sound that great considering TB has like 40 armor.
Yeah.
So that's the point where I'm looking at it and I'm going, if I had to pick, I would say Khan, because I think the TB will have an easier time playing the mid late game. But obviously anything can happen, so we'll see what happens. If the lanes are good for Cyber Legacy, I can definitely see them kind of, you know, rolling it a bit. They're gonna have an Ion Shell, Surge, Tiny, a good tower.
It's a lot of little things. Like, I love how the Darkseer enables Tiny for that extra push, so Big Num can actually find solo kills. Same with the Void, as you mentioned. It actually gives Void like the ability to threaten kills with Chrono early on while he's still in farming mode, because he's got that extra damage. And I just like Pugna a lot. I might be a little biased because I think Pugna is a bit underloved right now, and I think he can be so annoying against these heroes like Terrorblade. Like, yeah, when he gets BKB, Decrep won't be a factor anymore, but it's still, like, it's a tool that really screws up the cadence of what Terrorblade wants to do in fights.
Yeah, he will have the issue not even of just being self-decrept, but defensive decrep is going to be super annoying, because the only dispel they're going to get is Necro 3 on Cheshire Cat. So if he doesn't have a Necro and that guy gets decrept, he's just gone unless there's a stun nearby, or like there's not going to be any damage in follow-up if the hero is stunned, which is a huge problem. And I think that's part of the reason why I wanted to pick a Light Queen, to have some big magical burst to throw in case that hero does get decrypt. So should be a good game. I'm looking forward to it.
Prepare for battle.
Game number one. The tail end of our group stage here at Draskull. The main event starts tomorrow. The studio's back. No more remote production. And then I think we have like 5 or 6 days of that. And then I think we come back to Divine. The schedule's pretty interesting. It sort of weaves back and forth. So
it's almost like a full league, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just... I like that though, because
pool for the European Divine Division than the entire NA division, which only has 1 tier because there's not enough teams for 2 tiers. I think theirs is 40k and the Divine here is 50k, and then the Immortal for EU is like 500,000 or some like serious ass money for the real main event. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Hype as this event is, the reality of North American Dota really set in when I looked at that prize pool distribution. I had a moment of damn.
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad to see that people are putting money into like the tier 2, tier 3 scene. It's necessary for the longevity of the game. If you want people to
The
have
battle begins.
like, obviously there will always be people who want to play Dota because they love the game. But if you want to give people a real incentive to be amazing players and like stay together as teams, there has to be something you can get out of it, right? It can't just be something that you spend 12 hours a day playing and do nothing else and not make any money. It just doesn't work that way.
You know, with the 16-team division thing that Valve had announced pre-lockdown, would you have played at all, dude? Like 8 to 16, the tier 2 division in North America? I might be a contender for a team in that bracket.
If I played the game more seriously. Right now, I'm kind of just a feeder. I don't really like.
All right.
You know how it is when you're playing to improve versus playing to just play.
Yes, it is a very different mindset. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, give me time. You know, I need a lot of time.
I don't know, dude. I heard Veggies Esports might be recruiting. Keep an eye out.
Yeah.
All right, so we got TB Venge on the safe lane. Gonna have a 2-1-2 for both teams. No surprise, it'll be Pugna versus Quap mid. How does this matchup go?
So I feel like it should be pretty good for Pugna, mainly because his attack range is significantly longer. He's going to have a damage advantage too, especially as level start get going. But, you know, both heroes are going to get something. It's not like Pikachu is going to get owned here. Might be a slightly advantage for the Pugna.
Right. And of course, up top, we do have this position for Rubik, paired with the Cheshire Cat Beastmaster here in the off lane. Against the Witch Doctor Void. Running his way in between last hits. Very nice. Dream, a man with style, elegance, and grace.
Yeah, this guy is no joke. I've watched a lot of this guy's pubs. He is extraordinarily good at the game.
Yeah.
But I think the matchup should be fine still for Cyber Legacy, just because the Witch Doctor is the anti-boar hero. That's why I was talking about during the draft. It's important to have someone who can sit in the lane and like prevent the Beastmaster from just being super annoying. Witch Doctor can do that early. Then later on, they can just move the Darkseer if they want to have someone.
Creep stun. Pretty good. Although Slayer is getting whomped by Gilger right now. Oh, he knocks the Sow. Slayer, he gets a little greedy with it, and my gosh, he gets punished.
Yeah, that's an oof. You really don't ever want that to happen. This is not a point as a support where you're just going, do I just die? He's actually going to skill Voodoo Restoration level 2 instead of Maledict.
I was just thinking, this is an option. I don't know if it's the play, but it's one that you've got.
If you really don't think you're ever going to get a kill, it's fine.
This is kind of a weird lane. Void's not really that good at killing in the early levels. Maybe if you get lucky with bashes, but...
Don't underestimate how good Maledict is if you have 2 points into it at level 3.
Oh, trust me, buddy. I know.
If you catch someone and you get a lucky cast and it hits them like twice, and you have a time lock or two, that can definitely just be a kill.
Yes, but I think this build is also like extra anti-boar because you got the cast to kill him, and now the Voodoo Restoration. I've definitely turned lanes by going level 1 or 2 Voodoo Restoration, and it's just too much sustain. Yeah. Especially with the Void's time walk healing.
Yeah, I think they're both very valid ways of playing. It's just in the moment decision making. If he didn't just get his salve knocked off, maybe he would have skilled Maledict. You know, it's kind of hard to say. Bottom lane.
Oh, Darkseer in some trouble. Looks like they just popped a fresh meta, and now TB is going to get to dominate the lane for a minute. How fun! 44 seconds.
Pikachu's actually pulling ahead in this mid lane. Oh, I see why. Okay. So you can see itemization difference here between the mids. Double Null versus Bottle Rush. It's probably why he has a slight CS advantage on Magical here.
So what's the general like advantage? To hold that thought. Is Gilger chased down? Looks like he'll be okay. Q's going for more damage and sustain in the lane in terms of last hit, and Magical's looking for like more sustainability from a regen perspective.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the decision. The thing about Pugna is that his damage will be good either way. Nice little rune grab. He can combo, but there's no way it's killing him, right? He's going to go for the courier.
Radiant's courier has been...
the mid matchups...
Might not have had to pick up that rune. But...
Yeah, the mid matchups are always interesting because... Oh, Magical? You just dead here, bud?
I think so. One more. Pikachu's got it. Didn't even need
Man, that's a really silly mistake to make, honestly, in this level of play. You always have to check your opponent's mana when you're playing against Queen, especially because she has the ability to cover the entire lane immediately, especially when you're mid. And if she has mana for that, plus dagger, then you are just dead, right? Like, he has no fairy fires. He had nothing in his inventory. If it's any solo kill in the mid lane is a bad thing, right? Because now he just gets bottle. That was also first blood, so it's a huge influx of gold as well. That's a really, really big death.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Wow. Yeah, look at that net worth difference now. 2,200 on Clop, 1,500 on Pugna.
You get
It's a crazy margin for a lane that was like relatively even. Not
He's
that
dead
long
again.
ago. And there it is.
Dies twice.
Pikachu just jumps up. I mean, that's part of the snowball, right? She hits level 6.
Yeah.
Pugna's still level 4.
That's why you can't die to her like that. It's actually just dead lane now for him. That's gonna hurt Cyber Legacy a ton in this game for the mid to be going this poorly. Like, that one death just sets the tone for the entire game now. He's gonna be playing really far behind. He's super susceptible to being bursted, and it can just get really, really out of control very quickly. Bottom lane too is being heavy pressure here. Got the cart wave, trying to get some value damage on a tower. Has something nice going for them.
Yep. Let's see here. Combo in. They get Excel. Okay. Naive is still farming very well, though, on the Terrorblade. He's about even with the Void. CS very comparable. That is one thing about the Darkseer. It's this constant pressure into the tower, but there are some heroes, kind of like Terrorblade, that don't really care that much. They very easily can last hit under tower. They can buy enough regen to handle the Ion Shell pressure.
It depends on...
pretty well suited for this.
Yeah, this kind of stuff, though, is hard for him because it's double shell.
Did I just caster curse him? Oh.
I think the interpretation that you have of the lane is not really 100% accurate because in normal cases, Excel's just going to die here, by the way.
Yeah. The Avenge is obviously pretty useless.
The problem is that TB is very good at laning against his damage, but this is all magic, right? And it shoves the lane so fast. And as I talked about during the draft, there's no D-push, really. Like, Khan doesn't have a way to clear the creeps out quickly, so if you're under tower with a full creep wave and a cart, you are just food, right?
Nice.
Now,
yeah, the cart definitely, but for like just your regular creep wave, it's still too much. I guess it ramps up.
Yeah, because
right?
if you watch how Bignum is playing this, he'll be shelled, and then the wave will also be shelled, and he'll just run under tower. He doesn't need to draw creep aggro onto himself to deal damage. Normally, when you go under tower and you dive, a lot of people will click on the hero, draw tower aggro, which it can be very dangerous, obviously, because you don't want to get, hit by the tower. But you can just walk next to the hero and harass.
I see. Oh, up top, that's a level 2 Maledict now. Gilger maybe in some trouble. Dream jumps forward. Come on, give me a bash, baby. There it is.
Got him.
Got him indeed.
1-1-2 Witch Doctor. I like this build, actually.
Yeah. I like
good stuff from Slayer.
Sometimes that level 4 rolls over and I'm torn about whether or not to get restoration. Second point and cast. Do I want the heal?
Sometimes, if there's not a lot of units in the lane, the second point into cask is super value because you can chain stun for that much longer. But I think in this lane he made the right call. Nice scan here.
Beautiful.
Gonna see Bignum.
Damn, they sensed that one coming on. So Excel is still going to try to hold the tower bottom, and kind of as you were talking about, Naive looks like he's just geared up for jungling. He's got 3 points in Conjure Image, holding his 6th right now in case he needs it, and he's off the map. He's just jungling.
Yeah, they're gonna have to sack this tower. There's no one who can really be here. Excel's getting whatever experience he can before he dies, even autoing the creep a bit, try to get one extra. Little min-max stuff, but he knows that, like, there's nowhere else for him to really be. He could try to stack or whatever, I suppose, for the TB if they want to, like, stack Ancients and pop meta to kill them. Oh, this is bad. He skills Sunder.
Oh, there's the Sunder. Maybe the turnaround. Still a long duration on Life Drain, though. Is anyone coming in? There they are. Pikachu's here. Magical's done. Boys and girls, that's why you hold the skill point. Now, you might be thinking, oh, I'm in the jungle. I'm not going to fight anybody. Sometimes the fight comes to you.
Man, that was super, like, risky for Magical to make that kind of play. Like, if you look at the way that the map is worded, they see inside of the jungle of Khan, like the Radiant jungle, and they see mid and they see top. And there was no one under any of those wards. So to make that kind of play blind into high ground, to go for that, like, if he gets it, he looks like a god, right? But it's super high risk. I don't know, those types of plays are really, really risky. Maybe that's how he feels he needs to play.
I was gonna say, could you reason it that the mid has gone so bad that the Pugna feels like, listen, if I play safe and normal, we've lost anyway. So,
I mean,
not
maybe
all in, but that kind of Hail Mary-ish mentality.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you look at as an observer, we can see everything, so you have to be very you have to pay a lot of attention to where the wards are for each team. And then I look at the wards and I'm like, he didn't see anything. He literally saw nothing and he walked in there. That's crazy to me. Like he's way more brave than I would ever be.
Dyer's
I mean, I think another element maybe is that I wouldn't use the word rare, but not every TB will grab Sunder at level 6.
Roar here on Bignum.
Oh. Bignum in pretty deep. Now Gilger, he's going to make the rotation, and that should be an easy pickup. Though Slayer also dies elsewhere. Looks like up in the mid lane. He'll get finished off by Pikachu. Got off a curse, but not enough for a counter kill.
This is a lot of movement from a Beastmaster, by the way. There's not a lot of times where you see the Beast just give up his own lane. A lot of the time, they'll just sit where Naive is right now and just keep pressuring that lane and keep pressuring it and make people come up there and react. But I actually quite like the fact that Cheshire Cat didn't stay top because it opens up Naive's game a lot more. Like, he doesn't have to be there because at the moment, the only way that Cyber Legacy can kill Naive is basically Chrono into additional spells. So even if they were to make some kind of move on him, it would require a lot of resources from Cyber Legacy to actually secure the kill in the first place. So I think that this type of movement, if they get like the mid-tier 1, although this tower is going to be relatively difficult to push in if the Void is sitting on Chrono, because the TP reaction can kind of just thwart this immediately. It will let the TB farm, but I'm not sure if mid tower is really easily attainable right now for Khan. They might just be sitting him here because, you know, they saw the Tiny behind the tier 1 tower or something like that, and it was just a TP reaction. Maybe I'm reading a bit too far into it.
Void wants Midas. Okay. Dream feeling like he needs a farming tool.
It is nice against Beast to get rid of one of the Necro units, but...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I feel like Midas may be too slow. We'll see.
I'm a little worried. We haven't really seen Khan push much at all, but they absolutely can once everything falls into line. Venge has not gone for the Aura build here. She's gone for the Max Magic Missile. It's like the classic Venge build. Mid lane now, Pikachu taking a lot of damage. Not enough for a kill. Void comes in. Chrono on 2. Very nice. Swap back.
Wait,
Still gonna. What did he swap?
I was just about to say the same thing. What the hell did he swap?
Okay, so Pikachu and Excel are dead. I feel like I need to watch the replay when the delay catches up. That was so weird. Now Dream in pretty deep, but he's got a lot of reinforcements. Naive gets cursed. He needs to be a little careful here. He's falling quick and gets comboed down by Big Gnome.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Disastrous fight for Khan.
Yeah, that was something. Not respecting the amount of burst damage that Cyber Legacy can put out of this stage. Like, if you get Decrep stun combo from Tiny, that's a lot of damage. Not even including, like, the Nether Blast and the Life Drain. If you don't have any way to mitigate magical damage, you can't show like that. That TP was super ambitious from Naive. They lose the tower anyway. They lose multiple heroes. I think what happened with the swap, by the way, I don't know who he swapped, but he might have been standing on like the southern side of the Chrono, and level 1 swap range is not that big, so there's a chance that he might not have been close enough to swap Pikachu. I think that might have been what happened.
Ah, okay. That's fair.
Yeah, if that's the case, then he just swapped whoever else was in there, just to make sure that they didn't die, which is fine. But it just looked really weird at first, because you see the swap, and I didn't immediately know where Excel was in the fight, so I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, so depending
he was standing in
on your positioning, I think you're exactly right. The cast range on Nether Swap is 700. And for Void's Chrono, the radius is 450. So there absolutely can be spots if you're on the opposite side of the bubble.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
All right. Well, either way, Cyber Legacy, man, they find themselves the lead. It's 5-7. Their core is now moving towards the top.
Attack.
The recovery has been made. Pugna still trailing against the Queen of Pain, but Magical at least has his core item now. He's got the Aether Lens.
See you later, bud.
Find Rubik. Grand Magus will get 30 seconds to reflect in silence.
Yeah, that mid play just really crushed all the momentum that Khan had. Like, they lose their tower, one smoke play kills the support. They're going to counter smoke here. Excel and Pikachu are walking top. This kind of movement kind of gives away that there should be heroes here.
Oh, Star Cat. Is he in trouble here?
He just did.
I think so. He's just done. He's cursed up. Player finds the kill. That was one of those moments where Cheshire Cat's still pushing forward. I'm like, I'm not seeing what you're seeing here, bud. I don't know.
His team was too far. That's the big problem. Like, he sees them smoked behind, and
there was no Sonic Wave either.
Yeah, well, they would have gotten a kill with just the roar. I don't think they needed a wave to get any additional stuff. Stun coming out here. Pikachu's still gonna get the rune.
Oh, no blink for 2. Swap from Excel. All right.
Yeah, this game is very strange. A lot of mistakes coming out here from Khan. Like that play from Cheshire Cat moving too far forward, kind of dying before his team was close enough to help him, losing the mid tower, naive TPing into pretty much certain death when he could have just been pushing a tier 2 top with like a support behind him. I feel like these types of moves are hurting them a lot more than anything.
It's starting to seem like this Midas might have been a good choice on Dream. He now has a Maelstrom queued up, so still a pretty farm-heavy build.
Yeah, he realizes, well, it's a 2 birds with 1 stone kind of thing. When you're playing against TB, you know that the hero is going to have a tremendous amount of armor. There's no reason to scale physical damage against him because you're just never going to do enough. So having things like Mjolnir, MKB, these items are what help you kill TB. The alternative route is your team kills him and you just build items to stay alive and stay in the fight. So sometimes you'll see like 1 attack speed item and like Scotty or whatever just to stay on that one guy so you can get as many time locks as possible. So then your team can deal with everyone else and then come back to him. But it looks like the route that he's choosing to take is, I'm just going to kill you in the sphere.
Yeah. Boy definitely loves attack speed. That's for sure. I like that Mjolnir buildup. Well, Khan posturing like they want to get a little aggressive here, invading the enemy jungle, moving up towards the top lane. The Pugna going to move into the tree line, and on the other side, Big Num, well, he secures the TP. Now, the Orchid comes out on Queen of Pain just as the Blink Dagger comes out on Tiny. So both teams now with a shiny new option in these team fights.
Both teams are very capable of just popping a hero. You know, Orchid into anything is just death. And then Tiny combo into anything is also just death. And Cheshire Cat behind enemy lines here.
Oh, magical. They found him. Thought he was safe in those trees, but now CL come in and maybe they'll try to set something up. Dream does have a chrono. Already used the time walk as Gilger is deep behind the tower. Will get finished off. Now the chrono on 2. This is beautiful. Death Ward from the Witch Doctor.
He put it in the chrono.
Yep, there it is. Not going to do much there as Sonic Wave comes out and Excel, he should go down. A 2 for 2. Another very awkward fight. Yeah, just like how Rasta wards don't work in Chrono, nor does the Death Ward.
God, it was like right on the edge. I can actually see that being a misclick because of the way that he was standing, like relative to where the Chrono was placed. He was like above it, right? And sometimes it's hard to see like the exact edge because it is an actual sphere. You can't like tell exactly where the edge of the Chrono is. I mean, you can just say, yeah, just drop it further, but...
No, but there are moments where like Dota is not top down, right? We look at it from an angle, so when you're coming at things from that northern angle, it can be hard to tell the depth, I guess is the right word there. This is a really weird chase. I don't know why they're in so deep, but I think Magical's done for it.
What's going on here?
What was that?
They don't even have vision. Again. Okay, I guess they placed the Heather word there, yeah, but I didn't see it at first. They do have Anobs.
Okay, and they're also going to get Darkseer out of Feed Train. By the way, Dreskel, is this ward still totally broken? This dire one here, where the sentry up top doesn't get clear vision of this tier below it for whatever reasons?
You mean like when the sentry is initially placed?
No, like there's something weird about this spot in the jungle where this dire observer is. There's 2 little mini pillars next to the middle one.
Right.
There's something fucky with that vision where if you put observers there and then you put a sentry observer on the other team on top, you don't get true vision on that middle tier below because it's like absconded somehow.
I'm not sure.
That was the case. They might have patched it because I remember Jenkins made a video about it with that ward spot being like really, really dumb where you can put an observer under a sentry and you have to put like an observer on that tier to see.
Huh. And I wasn't.
It might have been patched.
I don't play.
I'm not sure.
I don't play 5 that much anymore, so if
I don't play 5
thing,
at that level, so I can't speak to it.
Yeah. I mean, it might be. It might still be that way. It might be fixed. I'm not sure. If they placed it there, there's obviously got to be a reason. So. Could be what you're saying and the fact they just can't see it. It would make sense because they put a sentry literally on top of the pillar and it's still there.
Yeah. So maybe that spot is still busted. You need to That's a pro tip, Draskell. That's plus
If I ever
30
get
on me,
forced
buddy.
Against my will to playing the 5. I'll remember that.
I always forget that at the higher level of pubs, you don't need to farm roll queues.
Well, you do is if the average MMR of the game's not 7k, you still have rolls. Excel is just mega dead here, by the way.
He's creep status now. He's done. Okay. It is still Khan with a small net worth lead. Up to 2k now. It was looking great for CL until that weird chase into the Radiant jungle, and now they're playing catch up again.
Yeah, I think they just want to keep Khan on their toes a bit. I mean, obviously the moves themselves aren't like perfect. They keep losing heroes here and there. But I think that if the Void gets to a stage in the game, because he finishes that Mjolnir, right? He gets one item on top of this, he becomes like the scariest hero on the map, more or less.
Are scanning.
Definitely true.
Dire's bottom tower is under
TB
attack.
still needs his BKB, and honestly, maybe even another item at this point. The burst damage on Khan is there, though. They just need to be able to, you know, have Pikachu get the Orchid on someone. Let's see if are there any saves yet? So it's Lens on Magical. They have Greaves, so the Darkseer can dispel the Orchid, but that's about it. So Orchid still kills 4 out of the 5 members of Cyber Legacy if they can get the combo going correctly. Aurora here onto the Witch Doctor. See you later.
Oh. Okay. Quick pick.
Yeah, he got the bounty rune, though. So, moral victory.
Darkseer, what's he looking at here? A Crimson. Mid lane, they're going to find a Rubik. A Time Walk. All right, Gilger.
I almost feel bad.
Also a Glimmer Cape.
Such a nice spell to have on Rubik. Because you're often, like, against heroes like Tiny, you're just so often a target, right? Like, he sees you and he just, you know, his eyes turn red. It's like, oh, freebie. And then Time Walk and his whole combo is wasted.
Cheshire Cat in a little deep up top. That's a toss back into the tower. And hey, look, his buddies are here.
That was weird because he was walking up like he knew they were coming. And his blink was off cooldown the whole time. And he, like, his Hawk had to have seen the hill, right? Oh no, it doesn't see the left side of the hill. Okay, Hawk misplacement. So if you have your Hawk just on the camp, you can see both sides of the ramp and the tower anyway.
Orchid on the Void. This is a big kill. Can they find it? Bada boom, bada bing. Pikachu.
Yeah, that's why he needs his one more item. He needs that BKB so that kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore. Once he has it, that combo will no longer be possible unless he is stunned from 100% to 0.
Radiant's top tower.
That's why timings are so
attack.
important in Dota. I think people don't really, like, they can, intellectually they can understand it, but they can't understand it in the game by feel, if that makes sense. Like, they don't instinctively know when a hero is strong. They can just see it after the fact, or they can look at it from an observer perspective and be like, oh yeah, obviously this guy's strong. But it's much, much different when you're in the game. So
it's a bit like the stock market, like buy low, sell high. Like, well, yeah.
yeah.
BKB for Pikachu, gonna press in. Sonic Wave only connects on one. Greaves there to mitigate some of it. Pretty good ultimate from Slayer, but they still lose the Darkseer. Now the Primal Roar, maybe one more casualty. It's a 2-0 in favor of Khan. Done with an Avalanche, and they'll continue to retreat. Yeah, I agree with you. It's like everybody knows, well, yeah, I should fight around my timings when I'm at my power spike, but knowing when you are is very, very hard to identify in the actual moment.
Your power spike is when you want to sit in your own wood, Zyori, for the entire game and never leave for any reason, even if your throne's being attacked.
It is funny that, like, occasionally you'll come across those pub teammates that are just stupidly defensive. You know, they get a kill and it's just always back to farming.
Oh yeah, it's like okay, here we go.
Tiny jumps in, he eats the Orchid too. This is actually great. Chrono on 3. Dream trying to finish off Queen of Pain, but they need more damage. They get it, and now Roche very low. Can they snipe the last hit? Roshan standing on 40 HP. It's gonna die to the Dire. Aegis picked up by Dream, and now they kill Naive. It is a complete disaster for Khan. I don't think that could have gone worse. They're gonna get cleaned up. They concede the Aegis, and they concede Roche.
I don't, like, Roshan got dragged out of the pit, so he actually couldn't be attacked for like a couple of seconds there. Like, that was really strange. He was at 1 HP for so long, and then right as Roshan died, the Naive got tossed, so
Radiant's
he wasn't
top
able
tower
to
is under
actually pick up the
attack.
Aegis. So nice little combo play there from
Radiant structures
Dream and Big
are
Num.
fortified.
good stuff. Nice little turnaround. That was like what, a 4K swing? And Roche?
Something like that. Yeah, let's take a look at
Radiant's
the
top
graph.
tower is under attack.
Looks like, yeah, almost exactly 4K. That was a really nice chrono, though. Dream has been
Radiant's
on
top
point this
tower
game. He's
has
found this
fallen.
great balance of putting a lot of priority on farming, but still showing up to fights and using chrono pretty much every time it's available. And I think every chrono's looked pretty darn good. Now needs to be careful as the Orchid chases him down. Time walk. Up in two, but okay. Well, Dream,
You cursed him.
sorry to compliment you there, buddy.
Damn it, Zyori.
The end of the Aegis.
Get it together.
And is he dead again? Big Num comes in, swap around, and Sonic Wave is more than enough.
Yeah, it's a pretty big misplay, honestly.
Almost feel bad.
Well, that was the
Thinking that
9-second
you're gonna-
BKB from Quap. Silver lining.
You know, these types of mistakes still kind of happen in tier 2 games, and you just kind of, you know, you accept it because, like, those types of deaths, if we were watching 2 tier 1 teams, that would literally never happen. Like, a guy being by himself against a team with multiple blinks, an insane catch with no BKB, holding an Aegis on his own with no team, that would just never happen.
So you're telling me Matumba Man wouldn't have died there?
I'm telling you, Matumba Man would not have even been there.
All right, that's the Draskell guarantee. I see.
It's just one of those plays where you look at it and you're like, yeah, okay, you have Time Walk, but there's Blink Beastmaster, you can't juke into the trees, there's Hawk, there's a Queen, there's Howl for Vision. Like, there's no way that you're going to be able to use Time Walk defensively well enough to be able to live in that situation. It just won't work.
I call those the high risk, zero reward.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, best case scenario, you live. What's the, like, cool. You could also live just farming your jungle, man.
Like, here's a really good thing to go by. Like, rule of thumb when you're watching a game. If you go, wow, I probably would have done that, it's bad. Like,
Dyer's middle
I probably
tower
would have
is
made
under
that
attack.
play, so it's bad. Because I'm bad. That's how you have to say it, right?
Yeah, that's a fair way to frame it. There is a double damage up on this Darkseer right now. And how long until Chrono? It's up! And just a recipe away from the Void's BKB. So still pretty tight in terms of net worth right now.
Dyer's bottom tower
Let's
is
see
under
how
attack.
Terrorblade's doing. He's got the BKB, the Manta, and it looks like Aya Scotty will be the choice next.
Yeah, Scotty, staple item on TB. I thought he might go for Satanic, but he might feel he needs a bit more damage to roar here. Bring Witch Doctor.
On the Witch.
And a
And he might actually live. They have
Oh, they-
detection. Sonic Wave in the back line. Slayer does fall, as does the Darkseer, but now the buyback. The Chrono does secure the kill onto Excel, but doesn't get anything else.
TB was quite odd.
Dyer's middle tower
That was
is
the
under
10-second charge for Naive.
He might have hit it during Chrono and forgot to hit S, because he like BKB'd as soon as the Chrono ended. That happens a lot, by the way. So if you don't know how it works, if you BKB and you get stunned immediately, it will queue up your BKB for after the stun ends. Don't hit S, you will BKB after the stun ends, no matter what, right? Like, it will just go off. So you have to hit S.
Yeah.
Dyer's middle
So
tower
it's,
is
yeah,
under
there is a
attack.
little cast point on BKB.
Dyer's
It's not actually
structures are
instant.
fortified.
Yeah, it's more about order queue, but it's one of those things that people don't know, and they'll be like, what the heck, why did I just BKB, right? Like, you hit it before the Chrono, and then you don't actually need to use it after the Chrono ends because no one hit you, but you forgot to hit S, so your BKB goes off regardless, and it's like,
Radiant's
it's one of those
top
things that
tower
feels
is
bad.
under
That's
attack.
one of those funky little Dota mechanics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fishire Cat, ooh, walks right into it. That boar, he's going to cost you. That cask just bouncing back and forth, playing ping pong.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the Witch Doctor superiority right there. That is real hard to deal with as a Beastmaster.
and Excel. Man, look at that. He scouted the high ground. It's like he knew that the danger was there. I probably shouldn't walk up here. And just as he scouts it, oh, damn. I've already stepped too far forward. Now, that's a play I would make, Draskell. I have made that very play.
Yep.
Where you know, it's like, I don't know if I should do this. And it's like, I should have trusted my gut. Why didn't I listen to my own inner voice?
Yeah, I do that shit constantly too, don't worry. I'm like, I should not go for this one more wave. I'm going for it.
It feels like gambling against yourself, where you're like, now, I know I shouldn't, but what are the chances they're actually making the right play and still standing there?
Radiant structures are
I'll
fortified.
roll the dice. I like to gamble.
And you're wrong like a lot of the time.
Yep.
Nah, I mean,
Radiant's
everyone does
bottom
that. It's,
tower
you know,
is under
it's a
attack.
universal Dota thing.
Yeah, one
If we
thing-
all actually listened to like the logical side of us when we played the game, we'd all probably have much higher win rates.
One thing that Jenkins mentioned in a video I really like is that those moments when you're winning a game, but the other team has good high ground defense, and you just have to starve the map and resist the urge to run high ground. He's like, it feels bad for you when you're winning because you want to get impatient, but you got to remember the mental warfare that they're experiencing. And after a few minutes of that, there's just this the psychological phenomena of wanting that sound reward of farming gold and hearing that
Dire's top
sound
tower
is like,
is under
it fucks with you.
Dire's
The longer
top
you stay
tower
high ground not farming, the more you want to leave the base and do something.
Speaking of gaming,
Here we go. Cheshire Cat. Mental warfare continues. Swap from the Venge will save him, but now Excel, I think, likely to fall. BKB from Pikachu jumps in. Nice Sonic Wave, but the Chrono kind of awkwardly placed. Another amazing swap. Excel will go down. Big Num somehow able to live as he steps to the side. Naive with another questionable BKB. They are going to get the Witch Doctor, maybe chasing down the Darkseer. TP home. This is bold. Not going to make it.
yeah, it's just, this is kind of what I was expecting to happen eventually. You know, it's around 30 minutes. Every time a Chrono goes out, the core just gets swapped away.
Dire's middle
Like
tower
Dream,
is under
he really
attack.
wants to get a core kill in these Chronos, but he just can't. This is why at the draft I was like, okay, it's pretty even-ish. But if Cyber Legacy lose momentum, it's really hard for them to continue because their core hero obviously was open pick, so like first phase. You are just going to play into a lot of counters, and that's just how it is.
Dire's
Oh,
middle
Queen of Pain
tower
dies
has
solo
It's a
to
solo
the
kill.
Void.
I mean, he's losing his base. It doesn't like,
Yes, his teammates don't have buyback, so there are very few options here. That's,
yeah.
I mean, more than the Void could have hoped for if he
Dire's middle
TP'd back,
barracks
but
has fallen.
easy mid lane. Remember, that was a
Radiant's courier has been
that
killed.
was a dieback for the Witch Doctor. So I thought it was the Darkseer. I guess he bought back a while ago.
Yeah. This is a...
Witch Doctor's on cooldown.
This game is going to come down to if Cyber Legacy can find an opening where the Venge needs to be taken care of before Chrono comes out. Like, either that
Dire
or the
are
Venge needs to be in the Chrono with another core. Those are like the two situations that can occur where Dream can kill the target that he wants to kill before the Chrono ends. Because as long as Excel is alive, he's been on point, like you mentioned, with swapping heroes away. And the TB isn't, like, even if his meta's down, he's still scary if you just let him hit you, right? But if
Yeah.
there's no Chrono on the Void, he's not scary at all. Like, no BKB, no Chrono, what's he gonna do?
Yeah, right now Terrorblade has something like 40 armor. That's yeah, no kidding about that magic damage against the Void.
Yeah, you want like MKB Milner against TB. Same thing
There
when
it
you're
is,
playing like
MKB.
Life Stealers and Juggernauts and stuff like that. You need to itemize for items that are not going to scale your physical damage, but more on-hit effects. 'Cause-
Do you like this Lincoln's on Void though, Drascal? Because in some ways I feel like it's warranted, but in other ways I am really worried about their damage output now.
yeah, I don't like it at all, actually. I mean, I get it. He doesn't want to get roared in his Chrono. Like, I can make the logical connection to why he wants the item, but it's not the item that's going to win him the game. It's gonna be the item that lets him feel more comfortable. That's basically what he's opted for here. It's comfort over victory. And I mean, again, I've done the same thing. I bought an item where I'm like, we kind of need damage, but if I get roared, it's really bad. And you know, you're making that choice in your head to say, I'm gonna make it easier for me to play the fight by having a Lincoln's, but we might not have enough gas in a tank to actually kill what we need to kill.
This is gonna be risky. It feels like playing to lose sometimes. Where you see like Morph, it happens to Morphling sometimes. You see a Morphling with like Manta, Lincoln's, BKB, and it's like, all right, eventually you're gonna have to do damage, buddy. Witch Doctor in the front line. Slayer going down quick. He does survive the initial onslaught. BKBs get popped. Naive and Dream, blow for blow. Dream not winning that battle outright. And there's the Chrono. Does connect on one and actually misses Cheshire Cat. That is not the Chrono they wanted. Now Cell and Pikachu jump forward. They get Slayer. They get the Darkseer. 2-0.
I like how you just abandoned it. That was good. Isn't it just Petishara?
Petishara. That's it. Yeah, Petishara. Buyback on Petishara. Gilgert.
Yeah, but I mean, you can see how bad it feels to be Dream in this game, right? Like,
yeah.
Excel was standing so far away from the engagement there, and you can't solo Chrono him, right? You just can't.
Uh-oh, Tiny in the front line. Sonic Wave, a little extra disabled. They do drop the Hex onto Venge. Oh, a
nice
double
nice.
clip. Chara, very nice. But now the Sunder comes out. Dream trying to time walk back. No BKB. Limited options. Naive. He surged forward. Those Rubik steals. Wow, that's great. He stole Surge. That is a huge utility for this con lineup.
Yeah, Surge is just incredible. Goes over movement speed cap too, which is really, really crazy. He just moves so quickly. They're smoked up here. No Darkseer, no Chrono. I mean, this is kind of like a Hail Mary. They're even late to the
Roche
Roche.
was already low. Yeah, and Magical still goes in. Looks like he is going to get that pick onto Cheshire Cat. Works out pretty well. Pretty high risk there. But Aegis now in the hands of the TB, and he's also got a Basher. Not an item you see on TB that much, but pretty cool in this game for some additional lockdown.
Yeah, Abyssal's great. I think a lot of people undervalue that item on ranged heroes. Because, you know, even though you're ranged, it doesn't necessarily mean you're scared of being in melee. Like, what's Naive scared of this game at this point? Not really a whole lot. Maybe if he gets chronoed, his entire team, like, disconnects, he might die. But besides that, he's feeling pretty good.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
You got the Scotty, the BKB. You can survive a chrono for sure. You're not afraid of the magical damage anymore. You know, even with the decrep, they can't burst you that fast. Witch Doctor's ult tickles at this point. Physical damage.
Yeah, so there's this weird Faceless Void dynamic where if you have another core on your team that is strong enough to force out spells, then you can scale well into the late game because you know that there's always going to be like a decent chrono opportunity, right? So in this game, no one else on his team is strong enough to force anyone on Khan to do anything, right? Like if Excel is not forced to use his swap before chrono comes out, or you know, if BKBs aren't forced out correctly, then it becomes significantly harder for Dream to do his job, which is chrono some cores and kill them. So in a normal game, if you have more backline reach, you can just kill the Venge, and then the chrono comes out and it feels good. Or if the Pugna was like scarier, and he was just like frontlining for the team or whatever, and forcing out like a swap because he has a Hex now, then that opens up chrono opportunities. But the last couple of fights, you know, before that item comes out specifically on Magical, there's just not really a whole lot that's making Khan scared besides Bubble. There needs to be more than one threat, I guess, is saying what I said in a very long roundabout way.
No, definitely. Like now it's defaulted back to this pressure on Dream of like, all right, buddy, we're gonna need you to catch the perfect chrono for us to have a chance in this team fight. And
just chrono all 5 of them.
obviously Khan know that, and when that's the only big threat they have to deal with, they just delta split at the beginning of every fight. So Void has no good option. I feel like you see this with Magnus's sometimes, where it's like, all right, Magnus, we need you to start the fight with RP and also catch 3 heroes, or else we're not gonna win. It's like, well, then I guess we lost, guys, because Magnus really wants to follow up or like counter-initiate with the RP. Scare them so they clump up.
Yeah, Void is the same in a lot of cases. The benefit of Mag is that even if you can't get good RPs, Empower is still just broken. So
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom
Although Void
tower
is now very close to the MKB. So speaking of power spikes,
yeah, he's gonna all in it. He won't have buyback for this, but I think it has to happen this way.
Dire's bottom tower is under
He needs to be scary right now. He can't wait.
bottom tier 2, the last outer tower. Khan gonna be able to finish that one off.
Tower has fallen.
Maintain some map control here. Butterfly, man, this TB's farming so fast. I feel like he just got the Abyssal and he's already halfway to Butterfly. They'll just keep this siege going. Cheshire Cat jumps in. Pugna, Magical needs to live, and he will, but just barely. Now Void flies through. Chrono on 3, catches the Venge. This is pretty darn good. Gets Pikachu, follow up onto Excel, and now the real team fight breaks out. Buyback, though. Pikachu back in it. Cheshire Cat won't be able to survive. They need some way to deal with Naive. Still have Aegis, though. He's going to go down. BKB at the ready. This is pretty good for CL. Now the Hex, Naive, no chance to survive. Beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, nice little engage there. Like Pikachu bought out right away, but it felt a bit ambitious, right? Like, how's he gonna get back to that fight?
There's just no access point.
Yeah, and there's nothing else really on the map, like that he's gonna get anyway. There's no adequate towers or anything like that. MKB coming in big, lots of damage. The Hex also coming in big there as well from Magical.
And for a moment,
As soon as
I kind of thought Khan might be able to take that fight, but then the Terrorblade just dropped.
Well,
I think he should have used the BKB before Aegis in that situation. I know normally you don't want to do that. He ended up not using the BKB at all that fight.
I don't know if it would have mattered, honestly. Like, the Queen and the Venge were just dead, right? Like, they were the first two to go, and when that happens, the fight's already kind of, like, lost at that point. It's the one place on the map where Cyber can have sort of a positional advantage, because Beastmaster Vision's not really going to help you that much in those type of situations, and not only that, but the way they engage, like, Cheshire catches YOLO blinks past the tier 3. You're forcing your team into a choke point. That's where Void wants to fight you. He wants to fight you in a choke point because his Chrono is going to be much easier to land.
And it definitely seemed like the Venge panicked a little bit and ended up too far in. I mean, she was like at the tier 3 when she got caught in the Chrono.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I mean, right? Like, you're forcing your team to make that choice. Like, do we just let him die?
Pikachu, I don't know if he's going to find the solo kill into Magical. Okay, with the dust from Gilgir, they certainly will. Holding the outpost. 40 minutes about to roll over. We'll go even at least. Dire are holding bottom outpost.
Yeah, I think it was just not the kind of way you want to start a fight for Khan if you're pushing up a hill like that. Like, you're strong, but you're not that strong. You can't just blink over the hill, roar a guy behind the tier 3, and hope that your team is going to follow you and not just, you know, lose heroes in the process. You can't do that against Void.
Punishment is real, and Terrorblade actually changes his mind, does not go for the butterfly, instead wants the Daedalus after Abyssal. Big damage.
Okay. I like that.
Void's gonna buy a cool, I guess, Satanic queued up next. Some more survivability.
Yeah, it's good in case he does get disabled. The status resist is great. He hits very fast and very hard now. So he'll be able to just recover all of that HP very, very quickly. It's only going to take him like 2 or 3 hits max to full heal. Like, Satanic active is just nuts. Probably too good, to be honest.
He's also got Illusion Escape, which is also fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I'm wondering what other items... They have Minotaur Horn and that's it. So they're actually missing 2 tier 4 items currently. It'd be really nice to get their hands on that. Maybe he can get himself a leveler, perhaps? I know that Khan just got one. So their TB's got a leveler now, which is great.
Khan are also missing an item still, the Timeless Relic on Clop. And they have a Prince's Knife currently not being used. And they're the 2 big items, Satanic and Daedalus, both picked up now, as we see a smoke from Khan. I'm a little surprised nobody's using the Prince's Knife. I usually think of that as a pretty darn good tier 4 item.
I think the only person who would be able to use it is Queen, and he's for the relic instead, like you said. So.
It's still better on Venge than the Pupil's Gift, though.
Yeah, but the Venge is never gonna. She's never gonna be in a position to hit anyone. That's the main thing. Like, if she's playing the fight correctly, she will be behind everyone forever. Like, until Chrono comes out, and then she's gonna swap, and then she's gonna die in the Chrono probably.
Yeah. It still only takes 1 auto attack, though. If you could swap and then hex the person that's killing your buddy, it's like the double save. They can't chase you down.
But how many times are you swapping if it's not into a Chrono?
Well, not that many, but...
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's low likelihood that it would be useful.
Yeah, I think you make a good point.
Because imagine a situation if they slow siege, like Khan, and they just have the TB with the Aegis like before, and he's just meted hitting the tower, and the Venge is just sitting behind him. How are they going to go on that? That's what should happen, right? Like, it shouldn't be your Beastmaster yeeting into the base. It should just be the TB with an Aegis hitting the tower and saying, you have to go on us, because it's much harder for Cyber Legacy to go on you when you have that, like, concave around the tier 3 as opposed to just all clumping on the ramp.
And I guess, like, the scenario I'm painting out, she already has Magic Missile to do that. Like, if you swap not in Chrono, you can still just stun somebody. It doesn't need to be a right-click hex, so it's kind of redundant. All right, you win this one, Draskell. You won the battle, but I'm coming for the war.
That's fine. I'm always down to talk about Dota. Hypotheticals and stuff are really fun in this game because you have to, you know, sometimes it forces you to think in ways you wouldn't normally think, which I think is a good thing. Gilgir's
got Aghanim's queued up on Rubik. That's always a good one. Especially when you've got Blink, Aether Lens already. Like, you can spell steal from downtown and then some.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good spells to get this game too. Cask, Maledict, Surge, you know, any tiny spell is always nice if you use it correctly. You can obviously get Chrono if you're super fast.
The Ag's Time Walk, that's an upgrade, all right.
Do you really want to Time Walk into them? I would be so scared to do that.
No, I'm just thinking of the style points if he pulls it off, really.
Yeah.
High
Well, I
risk,
guess
you're
the
right.
time lock bash lasts longer, right? Because of his passive? I've never actually done it, so I don't know.
The Arcane Supremacy. Yeah, it should.
That would be crazy. I've never seen the interaction in a game, but it would be funny.
Same.
So Roche is up. Obviously tricky for both teams here. It's going to be all about positioning, who gets the better fight. Cyber Legacy kind of want to draw Khan in and then be able to fight. They don't want to just like walk in and have Excel like where he's standing right now is like the place he does not want to be. He doesn't want to be between the entirety of Cyber Legacy and his team. He wants to be behind his own team. And he's going to die here, which is real bad. He has buyout. He's going to have to use it here.
Immediately. But he breaks.
He did break the smoke, which is good. Yeah, he did break the smoke, which is nice.
Those plays are always hard to read, or it's like, yeah, that was your saving hero, but you might have just caught or prevented your team from getting caught. So not good, but there is a silver lining for sure. You see both teams just so timid.
I think see, this is the thing, right? This is the same kind of idea that I was talking about bottom, where they just do the siege with the TB and have everyone standing behind them. This is so hard for Cyber Legacy to walk into. Someone has to go in and basically sacrifice themselves to get spells off.
Well, Big Num, maybe a good candidate for it. Roche is falling pretty quickly. 2,000 HP left. Void ready to jump in, but caught by the Rubik. No chrono yet. He's hexed up. Sonic Wave comes down. Dream in trouble. Still sustaining for now. The chrono finally flies. Naive gets swapped out. Excel, the sacrificial lamb, does it again. Cheshire Cat deep in the back line. He BKBs. That's just a Minotaur Horn. But now the reflection, Pikachu on the high ground, the Terrablade's still alive, and CL are running out of resources. They picked up the Venge and the Beastmaster kill. BM will buy back. They finally get Tiny. TB, can he sustain? Void jumps back in now. He's trying to finish off Darkseer in the back line. It's a dead Naive. Somehow Dream's still alive as Pikachu falls. Buyback's coming on both sides of the coin, but this is absolutely the Dyer's fight. Gilger, what are we doing here? Now on the other side, Roche still standing. 2,000 HP, Cheshire Cat, that's a dieback. He ran in a little too aggressive there. Ambitious Eyes is now Roche will fall to the wrath of Dream. He picks up the Refresher Shard, Aegis, and Cheese. Rubik jumps into the pit, trying to snag some spoils, but this might cost him. Gem on the deck, Gilger picks it up, no way!
He's not getting out, there's no way.
Blink up in 2, never mind, Dream.
Wait, oh no, I was gonna say no way he gets out of here.
No way indeed. They catch him, the gem hits the deck. Cyber Legacy, break it wide open. Now let's take a look at the recap. No help, god damn it.
Yeah, the fight was way too long. When the fights go that long, the recap doesn't do anything for you.
So 4 buybacks on the Radiant, and Pugna was the only one that bought back on the Dire. So a couple of those deaths were diebacks. The Venge, the Quap, no, not the Quap, I'm sorry. The Venge and the Beastmaster were both diebacks on Khan. So that was an insane swing. The XP went from 10k to now 20k in favor of Cyber Legacy.
Yeah, the Satanic coming in huge there. If he didn't have that item, Dream was dead, or it's like absolutely dead. He got hexed. He was at like, what, 15, 20% HP, gets the time walk off, heals a little bit, pops Satanic, throws out the chrono. In that specific case, it didn't even really matter that the TP got swapped because he just needed the full heal. And once that happened, there were already heroes dead on Khan, and they were being forced into buyback, and their tier 2 top is alive, but it still takes time for them to get back into the fights. And obviously, Excel was the first real death there. It was a dieback on him because he obviously broke the smoke beforehand.
You think Khan should have just stayed more committed to the pit with the TB stuck inside the strat that you were talking about?
Yeah.
4+1, because it seemed like they really overcommitted to take a fight where they were on the low ground, and CL had a great positioning advantage just holding that high ground spot.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely did not want to chase up the hill. It seems like a theme this game where they maybe feel like they're a little bit stronger than they are relative to the stage in the game now, because like this Void is higher net worth than the TB. Like Dream is massive. He's basically got a full inventory, Refresher Shard, and a Lincoln's in his backpack. So this guy, he doesn't get any bigger than this. Like this
Moon
is
Shard
level
is
30.
I mean, he's pretty
like,
slotted.
If you want to be like super fancy, you can get the Aghanims and stuff, but you know, he has everything he needs to play the game at this point.
Yeah, it is. So what happened to the Ags first? It seemed like that was the build on Void for a while, and now we're seeing it a bit less. I'm actually, I guess, maybe surprised that Dream skipped it altogether.
It kind of depends on the game. So in my personal experience with the hero, because I've played quite a bit of Faceless Void, it's an item where you can buy it if you have such good chrono synergy that you never really need to be the sole
Radiant's
like
top
killer
tower
on your
is
team,
under attack.
right? So you buy it, it's very annoying because if the enemy team doesn't have burst, they can't obviously kill you fast enough, and then you can just keep time locking them and you can chase forever, and it feels really good, and you obviously can farm with it too. But if you need to be doing damage in chrono, it's not the best item for that. Like there are other items that just let you burst the important heroes inside of it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
As we've talked about, a lot of pressure on the Void to get those chronos this game. He does have a double damage, by the way. Still plenty of time on the Aegis, of course. About 2 minutes. Barracks.
See, this is a siege, Zyori. This is how Khan should have sieged bottom when they had their Aegis.
Cheshire Cat, he's going deep. He's still got the Minotaur Hearn. They've got detection though, bud. And he's just gonna drop the chrono. Catches the Venge too. No,
He got it, Rubik got it.
Rubik will steal it, but can they do anything with it? Trying to throw some snowballs in. Good ult from Pikachu. They still haven't found any kills though. Parallel walls come out, Magical sustaining, the Quap committing so much for that. And the GG will be called. Of course, Naive also died in the fray of that fight. A tough final fight. CL take 49 to 30, 49 minutes.
Radiant's
Faceless Void.
Yeah, that was, So, there's this thing about Dota, and it's kind of always been this way. So once the game goes past like 40, 45 minutes, all bets are off, right? Like anything can happen because, you know, of buybacks and like certain itemization that comes out that kind of counters what your heroes
Decision. There's the I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star. All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rock star. Fucking with me, call up on the Uzi and show up in them the shot tops. When my homies pull up on your block, they make that thing go grata-ta-ta. Hey, switch my whip, came back in black, I'm starting saying recipes of my scar. Close that door, we blowing smoke, she asked me light a fire like I'm blowing some. Fool on stage, probably leave my fucking show in a cop car. Shit was legendary through a TV out the window of the montage. Scoping on the table, look up on, don't give a damn. Don't your girlfriend is a groupie, she just tryna get in. Saying I'm with the band. Hey, now she acting out of pocket, tryna grab up on my pants. 100 bitches in my trailer, say they ain't got a man. And they all brought a friend. Yeah, hey. I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star. All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rock star. Fucking with me, call up on the Uzi and show up in them the shot tops. When my homies pull up on your block, they make that thing go grata-ta-ta. I've been in the hills, fucking superstars, feeling like a pop star. Drinking any bad bitches, jumping in the pool and I ain't got on no bra. Hit her front or back, pulling on the tracks and now she screaming out no more. They like Savage, why you got a 12-car garage and you only got 6 cars? I ain't with the cake and how you kids that. Your wifey say I'm looking like a host now. Green hundreds in my safe, I got old racks. LA bitches always asking where the coke at. Living like a rock star, smash out on a cop car, sweeter than a pop tart. You know you are not hard, I done made the hot chart. Remember I used to chop hard, living like a rock star. I'm living like a rock star. I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star. All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rock star. Fucking with me, call up on the Uzi and show up in them the shot tops. When my homies pull up on your block, they make that thing go grata-ta-ta. I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star. All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rock star. Fucking with me, call up on the Uzi and show up in them the shot tops. When my homies pull up on your block, they make that thing go grata-ta-ta. Scoping on the table, look up on, don't give a damn. Don't your girlfriend is a groupie, she just tryna get in. Saying I'm with the band. Hey, now she acting out of pocket, tryna grab up on my pants. 100 bitches in my trailer, say they ain't got a man. And they all brought a friend. Yeah, hey. I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star. All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rock star. Fucking with me, call up on the Uzi and show up in them the shot tops. When my homies pull up on your block, they make that thing go grata-ta-ta.
You've been dressing up the truth, I've been dressing up for you. Then you leave me in this room. Pour a glass and bite my tongue. You say I'm the only one. If it's true, then why you run it? Ooh, oh. If you really being honest, if you really want this, ooh, oh. Why you acting like a stranger? What's with your behavior? Ooh, oh. Say my name, say my name. If you love me, let me hear you. Say my name, say my name. I am dying to believe you. believe you. Say my name, say my name. If you love me, let me hear you. Say my name, say my name. I am dying to believe you. Say my name, say my name. If you love me, let me hear you. Say my name, say my name. I am dying to believe you. I feel alone in your arms. I feel you breaking my heart. Say my name, say my name. If you love me, let me.
Let go.
If you love me, let me.
Let go.
I am dying to believe you.
Try to write you a love song, thought I could. So far what I told you, misunderstood. It used to be so good. What went wrong with us? I remember one night in Montparnasse, you gave me a painting made of us. So I cherish the moment when we still were young. I won't give it up. Can't you see I'm not strong enough? Oh, don't call me back for sunny, sunny day. I'm doing it all for you, but you're letting me down. You better turn around. I'm doing it all for you, for you. Hand in hand on our journey, set for love. You and me against the world, never apart. So naive I could be. I thought our love would last. I won't give it up. Can't you see I'm not strong enough? Oh, don't come back for sunny, sunny day. I'm doing it all for you, but you're letting me down. You better turn around. I'm doing it all for you, for you. I'm doing it all for you, but you're letting me down. You better turn around when I'm singing the blues for you, for you. I would do the same tomorrow, all for you. For you. For you. I would do the same tomorrow, all for you. For you. Come to me, honey, help me understand about your feelings, about your plans. Just one more chance to hear my praise. I'm doing it all for you, but you're letting me down. You better turn around. I'm doing it all for you, for you. I'm doing it all for you, but you're letting me down. You better turn around. I'm doing it all for you, for you.
It starts with one. I don't know. Thing. It starts with one thing. I don't know why it to extract. It starts with one thing. I don't know why it doesn't even matter how hard I try. Thing. I don't know why. It starts with one thing. It starts with one thing. Don't know why. It starts with one thing. It starts with one thing. I don't know why. Why? It doesn't even matter how hard you tried. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme. Designed this rhyme. Designed this rhyme. Designed this rhyme. All I know. Time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away. So unreal. Didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on to didn't even know I wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to remind myself how I tried so hard. In spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property. Remembering all the times you fucked with me, I'm surprised it got so. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not passion with me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I've put my trust in you. Step as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I've put my trust in you. Pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I've tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. Tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even
This game isn't super good. This game, like as a team fight utility, because inside of the chrono, and if you chrono someone like DP, even if she has, you know, exorcism going, it's not really like a guaranteed fight win, you know?
Yeah.
So there needs to be multiple avenues of like initiation on the side of Cyber Legacy, which in the previous game they didn't really have. In this game they do have. They have the Void Spirit, they have a DK who I can only assume is going to eventually buy a Blink Dagger. So I think that's kind of what you were leaning towards when you were talking about how they have like more ways to like kind of play the fights. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be close. I don't know if I can favor one team this game. I kind of have to see the lanes. I know it's a cop out, but I just can't. Both have good stuff.
There is a lot of catch also on the side of Khan, no doubt. Arrow, swap.
And they have no saves, by the way.
Yeah.
So if those spells connect, that hero's probably just dead.
You're definitely right about that. Guess that's where that LC ban feels particularly good.
I think the key piece here for Cyber Legacy is just the DK, because this lane, like Morphling versus DK, you can't harass DK. You just can't. Like Breathe Fire damage reduction on your hero just feels so bad, and you can't like over morph Agi either. And then during the mid game, you're gonna have the Fate Bolt damage reduction, which is 34%, and the Breathe Fire damage reduction, which is an additional 25. So you're gonna kind of be like a noodle, both of those spells. You're gonna need like E-Blade or something to be able to hurt.
I mean, one of the games that you and I casted, we saw this offlane combo, the DK with the 4 Rubik, and just the Fade Bolt with the Breathe Fire stacked on top of each other in the lane. It's almost like 50% damage reduction or something. It's not actually that much, but it feels real bad when you look at the actual numbers in the lane. So
yeah,
not only
they don't stack additively, right? There's no way.
I don't know, actually. I have to look at the math. Rubik's only 10% at level 1. I forgot how much it ramps up.
It goes to 34.
Yeah.
Max rank.
I know, the additively stuff is weird. A lot of times in Dota, it seems like things by default stack additively, and then it's really broken, and then they change it to stack multiplicatively. So it should all be multiplicative, but for some reason, a lot of things start additive. I know CDR on Dazzle was like that. So when the neutral items came out, shit was dumb busted. If you got the... oh, what's the tier 4 one called? I always
Spell
forget.
Prism?
Spell Prism. There was a window where you could get 100% uptime on Grave. It's fantastic. Once you hit level 18.
I didn't know about that. That's lit.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Got patched pretty quick, but that was a fun week, buddy. That was a real fun week.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's tough. So, a couple of key things for the early lane. Petishara down here should be more or less free farm. I think Naive will most likely get pressured here. Not sure really what the Vengeance is going to be able to do.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings on this hero. I don't know if we talked about it the other day, but she has moments where she can look really good, but I think harder to execute with than a lot of other 5s.
Well, she has a distinct purpose in this game, which I think is important. Well, 2, if you want to be technical about it, I guess. Naive actually just dies.
Whoa!
Dies. Level 1 Morph is not that good. Can't tank that much damage.
Well, First Blood brought to you by EGB.com.
Yep.
They've got bets available on all these games, and you can go to EGB.com, click below the stream, and get a deposit bonus. They're the partners, folks. All right, sorry, Draskell, what were you saying?
I actually completely forgot. Not your fault. Like Naive died. We'll blame him.
Where were we
what
going?
was I saying?
We had a transition point. I don't know. Mid's pretty even though. Pikachu and Magical trade and farm.
This is what happens when you get old. Just all of a sudden forget what you're talking about.
I remember my 20s like it was yesterday.
God, everyone, says that, but to me, no way, dude. It was so long ago to me. I don't know how people can have that mindset.
Well, I'm not sure how deep into the 30s you are, so I'm only 30 right now.
I'm turning 33 in January.
Wow. I didn't realize you were so much older than me, Draskell. You really are
basically
the dad,
a dinosaur. Like, let's be real.
Are you? You and P-Flax might be 2 of the oldest that we've got now. I guess Nahaz, he might take the
Oh, yeah, Ted's like 40, I think.
He like doesn't look the way, he doesn't age right. I don't know. He's got those British genes where he just, if you told me he was 25, I could maybe believe it.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. Ted is, he looks good for his age, no doubt. Not me, though. I was the kid who was like, you're like 16 years old and you just never get carded anywhere for anything, ever.
Blessing and a curse, I guess.
All right, so laning-wise, everything looking to be about even.
It really is.
Morph is doing a bit better than I had expected originally, but he did die once. Kind of silly dead.
But still, his CS is like within 1 of the Void. Just the difference of denies, and same with the offlaners. So we've basically got a first blood, and outside of that, it's been darn even.
The one advantage that Cyber Legacy are going to have going into the mid game is how often Magical is going to be able to move around the map versus what the TP can do, because it's like a concerted effort when you have Exorcism up and you go in and you get your objective and your fight or whatever, but it's a much, much longer cooldown. Void Spirit really only has to wait on his Astral Step charges. Do whatever he wants.
Assimilate. Pretty handy. Venge comes in, shows Magical who's boss, says, hey buddy, how you like that armor?
Yeah, they're just fighting over the bot rune. Instead of losing this fight pretty badly though.
4-minute flip. He does still secure it for Pikachu though, and it is a regen. No bottle on Pikachu,
kill.
but it does set up a kill. No! Stick charges.
He had a Fairy Fire too, right? Wasn't it both?
Might have been both. It looked like a big heal, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looked like he healed a lot. And this regen is gonna make Magical ult sad.
Yep. And that's why we call it the 4-minute flip, because it has the ability to completely turn a lane.
I don't really know the solution to that problem. There are definitely like 4
From like a
minute
game
runes.
design perspective, like
Yeah,
how do we
because
fix it?
sometimes the 4-minute rune just completely destroys the lane.
Yeah.
Like it's either a DD or a regen. Sometimes even a haste rune can be super impactful. And it just feels, you know, so bad because both supporters did what they were supposed to do. They went for the rune.
Yeah.
And then you just don't get it, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, well, it's still a coin flip. I mean, sometimes you see that just go, one person goes top, one person goes bottom, and they just commit to it being a 50-50. And it kind of sucks that a coin flip can really determine the outcome of the next 2 minutes. I mean, I guess the solution in the past, we used to have 0-minute power runes, right? And we had 2-minute power runes. So do we just delay it? Do we make it a 5-minute power rune, the 5-minute flip?
I'm okay with it, like no runes except for bounty spawning until 10 minutes. Like, I'm perfectly okay with that. Bot lane again.
Is that because you're a purist, though? Does that take away from some of the hype for the viewers? The first 10 minutes of the game already kind of boring?
Well, what I would...
boring?
Oh, top lane Slayer's just dead. Got murdered by Beast. But yeah, the whole thing with me is I would move the runes back to the river, like bounty runes, but just on both sides. So that way there's still a point of contention. It's just not something that is layered in RNG and kind of like heavily swings the lane one way or another. And sometimes you just have no control over it, you know? And I get that there have to be RNG elements in the game, but I feel like those things have too much of an impact at an early stage.
Especially since mid is already the most delicate lane in terms of it being a 1v1. And a lot of times it's like, okay, nobody's made a mistake yet. Who's going to be the first one to make a mistake? And then that's the edge that the other can really push.
Yeah, especially if the matchup is bad, right? Like if the matchup is bad,
yeah,
and one guy who has the favorable matchup gets a really good rune, then you're just like, you're I want out status. You're just like, God, this is just so bad.
Oh, Magical here. He is level 6. He does have another Astral Step. Gilger. Ooh, he gets caught by the taunt. Does have a little heal. No more Astral Steps. And now is Magical going to be punished for this? Void comes in. Stunned up.
He time walked into the arrow.
Damn.
He literally time walked into the arrow.
All right.
That's an oof and a half.
We call that a swing and the miss.
No, it hit. He hit it right in the face. Well, his
from the
lack
Void's
of face.
perspective. Yeah, that's brutal. Okay. Well, a good start for Khan then, I guess. Recovered since feeding that first blood with the Morphling. Now Naive will take a little edge in his relatively tough lane. Now just solo against the DK, so not quite as bad, but as you can see, Pedushara still keeping the pressure on. Soul Ring now, level 3 Breathe Fire, so he knows what he's doing. He's pressured.
It's a very easy lane for DK. He gets those little pot shots on the tower, make sure that he's applying his Corrosive Breath, getting the maximum DPS as he can.
Undealable
mid-max. They did have the DP down here, level 4 Siphon. They can kill him if they have a third, but I don't know if they can do it with just these two. I guess they just really want Naive to get EXP. That's why they move him mid?
I guess so. It feels like kind of an odd rotation, but maybe just getting him out of the lane with the DK. Because he does lane better against Void Spirit.
It's definitely a lot easier for him to inhabit this part of the map, no doubt.
We go. Unseen.
And no real big movements from either team happening just yet. I mean, I guess this is kind of expected just based on heroes. We saw the Exorcism pop mid. Pikachu got some chip damage on the tier 1 mid. It's actually below half, so good amount of damage done there. Probably not going to see a lot happen until at least the supports on the side of Cyber Legacy or really want that Macro Pyre and Chrono combo to get a kill.
Unleashed.
3 kills in 8.5 minutes. Sides still playing pretty tight. Necro Book 1 up on Cheshire Cat, reading about the demonic ways.
His EXP is a lot better this game. Like last game, he had the swap with Naive to give the TB a spot on the map that he could actually farm. And he ended up like rotating mid and playing with his team a lot more, which means he was like super underleveled for a large portion of the game, which did end up hurting him. I'm not sure if they're gonna have to do the same thing this time around. I doubt it. I think they were glancing at the DK bottom here, but not gonna commit action.
Thinking about it. And again, Dream thinking about
There's
the
just no
Handamitis.
damage.
Yeah.
There's no damage to put into. They need something.
Starting to pressure this tier 1 tower up top. Cheshire Cat pulls the wave through.
Radiant's courier has been.
This Beastmaster is like solo putting 2 heroes. They're like, we can't really walk up.
Oh, Chrono down bottom. They find it onto the Death Prophet, but where's the damage, as you said? Now the turn onto Void. Time Walk is going to pick him back up. Pikachu still holding the Exorcism for now. Out of Spirit Siphons. There's the Exorcism deployed. Feeling like he can get this DK perhaps. Time Walk, but Magic Missile chases.
Under attack.
1 second on Time Walk.
A little more, no arrow, and a lot of ultimates used.
Dire's top
No
tower
kills though
is
for
under
either
attack.
side.
They'll be able to get some damage on the tier 1 though, at least. Or Khan. They know Chrono's down. Like, that's why I was saying, like, even using Chrono in this game is going to feel bad for a long time. There just needs to be... It's kind of weird that you would open Void and then just not have any damage to put into
Bottom
it.
tower is under
Like, prior to
attack.
the supports having 6 or, you know, some real big itemization coming out.
Macro Pyre is pretty much your big spell to combo with. That's it. It's like a starter. You know, that's okay.
I mean,
Speaking of Macro Pyre,
all
Slayer's
things
gonna get
considered.
killed.
Yeah, they do murder the Jakiro. But this is so weird, right? They lose their tier 1 mid when they basically go for a kill on one of the tankiest heroes on Radiant under his own tier 1 with no damage. It just feels
Dire's top
very
tower
like disconnected,
has
right? Like there's not a whole lot on Cyber Legacy that is making sense to me in terms of how they are moving around the map. Like for Khan, they put Morphling mid because Magical was there and they know there's no Vessel. Okay, it's pretty safe for him to inhabit this part of the map. The Beastmaster is zoning 2 heroes top. He's taking a tier 1 by himself. And then the dive bottom just fails. So like what has gone for Cyber Legacy in like the last 5 minutes? Because I'm not really seeing a whole heck of a lot here. I'm waiting for, you know, maybe the DK to get blanked, but he's still far away. The Jakiro is still level 5. Did the Rubik take the tome, by the way? Did you?
Good question. I'm not sure. He must have.
Yeah, because like even with Macropyre, there's no guarantee, right? Like there is a chance that there could be a swap available when the next Chrono comes out, because it's still over a minute. The Venge is 4. Maybe he has a tome. I'm not sure. I can't actually. Where? Okay, he doesn't have it. So if he doesn't have, maybe there will be one more Chrono without swap. But as soon as that spell comes up, it's going to be the same story as game 1, where like, how many Chronos did we see where he just only killed the support? Like 5, 6 maybe?
Yeah. You're right. It is definitely trending very much in favor of Khan. I guess it feels like the Beastmaster hasn't completely taken over yet. Like they just killed that tier 1 tower top. It's 11 minutes, not particularly early compared to some of the averages we've seen with Beastmaster in the off lane. They're not like getting pummeled. It's 3-1 at 11 minutes, so they're trying
They
to
just need
greed up.
time.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, they just need time. I mean, it looks bad because you're giving up map control against a team with a Beastmaster and a Morph. And, you know, last game I kind of doubted their timing because of the TB and like how scary he was in that game and how the Chronos never really felt that good, but they still managed to turn it around. So if they did it once, do it again.
I also think there's a good chance this bench is not level 6. Let's see. Is that the tome coming? Oh, it is. All right. Never mind.
He must have bought it right after the pause because I checked his courier and I didn't see it. Oh, his courier is 6 slotted. That is
Yeah,
so
dude.
many items.
This thing's yoked. All right, well, Venge just got a nice power spike. Jeez. Cheshire Cat, what happened there, buddy? In a little bit deep. See, these are the things that make me feel like it's not that bad for Cyber Legacy. Yes, the current game state is not in their favor, but you're getting a free kill on the Beastmaster at 11 minutes. Well, is he just a little overextended there? I guess he had a ward down, so felt a little safer.
Yeah, I mean, that type of death, when everything on your team is down, like someone's gonna die on the map, right? No exorcism, you don't even have Moonlight yet. So it is kind of expected that there would be some kind of move on the map for Cyber Legacy to take control, and obvious target if you're the only one showing in late.
Well, yeah,
that's just kind of like a.
My
it's a
question
whack-a-mole
is,
gang.
why is he showing there? It's like the tower's down, your teammates aren't anywhere nearby, you don't have cooldowns, there's no objective here anymore, so just go farm the jungle or something. Am I crazy? Have I just been casting with you too long, Draskell, so I'm nitpicking here?
I mean, you have to nitpick if you're at this high level. You don't have a choice. It's like you either nitpick every play that you make, or you just stagnate. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah,
The important thing is to take away the correct thing from the play, which I feel like a lot of people struggle to do. In that situation, I feel like someone was going to die, but he was the most obvious target because of where he was on the map and the fact that he was one of the only heroes showing. So yes, he should have been maybe a bit more aware of that.
Radiant's bottom tower.
But just don't... Yeah, you can't be... It's kind of hard to always take away the correct thing.
Well, it's subjective too, because it's relative to like it's all relative. You did this, so the other person did that. But if you hadn't done that, maybe he would have reacted differently, and then that would have created an option. Like it very quickly turns into a million threads.
I think in this specific situation, he probably should have not been there, like backed a bit, because he had like Hawk and Ward Vision. It can bait you a little bit, so that's understandable as well. But because his team was also under tower, if they make a play on mid, it's much less likely to succeed. You know? But you are in no man's land.
Oh yeah, and now they are trying to push this advantage. Now the Chrono comes out. Okay, Cheshire Cat, he takes the bulk of the damage. He's gonna go down. Now they're going to Naive. Does still have the Aegis, of course. Swap from Excel. That's the first one. Now he'll fall. Playing a good support Venge. Keeps the Aegis alive. So again, it's that was a pretty aggressive movement from Khan.
Yeah, I don't think they were expecting the Vessel to be out either. Even Magical, when he had his urn, he had the Orchid on his quick buy for a while. So I thought for a little bit he was actually just going to skip or forego the Vessel altogether in favor of the Orchid. But he decided to go back, and that forces the Morph out of the fight just straight away. You don't have a Dispel for that, you just have to get out.
All right, now the initiation in. Pikachu does not have an exorcism here. They drop the roar on the DK. A lot of follow-up damage there. Magic Missile. Okay, got a DK. Link Dagger up now on the Beast. Whoa, big wave form in. Big Numb.
Yeah, both teams just really clawing for map control, I guess, is the way that I would say it.
15 minutes. About to see some bounties.
Yeah, Dream's back on his Midas shenanigans again. He's almost got Maelstrom. Okay, look at that.
Same build.
What an arrow.
Is he okay, though?
Not enough damage on him.
Oh, the silence? The silence? They've got him. Ouch, that hurts.
Yeah, if the silence hadn't been there. But nice positioning there. Nice comboing of spells. Khan get a really important kill.
The prize is mine.
I'm in the meantime, and bottom Magical's just kind of hanging out, doing his thing. They have Ghost for this if they want to pop it. Yeah, you will. Tower.
Radiant are scanning.
Exorcism.
He just has, what, like 2 minutes left?
Is under attack.
Right?
Let's take a look at the timer here. Yep, 2 minutes, 10 seconds.
Radiant structures.
It expires when it says Roshan may respawn in 3 minutes.
I couldn't remember. It's one of those things where, like, I'm really bad at timing Rosh. Like, I know I'm bad at it, so I always second guess myself.
Shadow.
Uh-oh, arrow into roar, magical. Magic Missile, that's a lot of stun lock. He actually does live, and whoa, Pikachu dies in exchange. Trying to chase down Magical, can they find him?
Radiant's middle tower is under
Arrow.
Radiant's
Almost, there it is, the blink. Oh, the taunt. Excel dies somewhere in the back, and the great chase on the Magical. No!
Oh, boy.
No! Oh my gosh.
He needs to be
An
careful.
abysmal Chrono.
Radiant's
Yeah, he needs to be real careful about this. One more time walk in a bad way, and he could have just fed. I don't think he would even think that it was a good Chrono, but it was,
No.
the fight, they have the momentum right because they kill the DP immediately, and he just wants it all. He's got like the red in his eyes. He wants everything from that fight because it would be so huge if that chrono connected. You know?
Yeah. There was definitely a big reward there, so I respect the, you know what, I went big because if it worked out, the payday would have been well worth it. It might have still been the positive expected value play. I'll certainly give you that.
A mid lane. Oh, enough damage.
So, bottoms are burning.
Dire's top
The
tower
stickiness
is
of that
under
macro
Dire's
pyre.
top tower.
What a great buff that was to Jakiro, by the way. That it lasts for 2
Jakiro's-
seconds after you walk out.
Jakiro's
Radiant's
nasty right
bottom
now.
tower
Very good hero.
is under attack.
Lingering.
Because it's a guaranteed, what, like 100 extra damage before mitigation? So it'd be like 150 base magic risk.
Yeah, something like that. It used to
that's
feel so
next-
bad as Jakiro when you drop your ult and they just literally walk 2 steps to the side and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you just
Glad I
raise your
ulted.
eyebrow and you go, what if I just walk 1 unit this way? And you just get really sad. Here, from Khan. Where are they looking? I guess they're looking for the Void, but
Do they
little
know
bit split
Magical's
here.
here? I don't think so.
Dire are scanning.
way far away from the other two. Yeah, they know what's up. The courier. They actually have one in
Oh,
the river.
the
Yeah, there was
classic.
one in the river that spotted the courier flying from Pikachu's. Definite
That-
misplay.
Arrow, whoa, actually a little bit close onto Magical. He is in deep, and now they've found him. He was farming in enemy territory. The double astral step onto the low ground. He makes it. A little close there, but he knows his limits.
Yeah, you see that kind of stuff in pubs all the time, by the way. Couriers flying over wards.
Oh, yeah.
When you're smoked. And you're just like, wait, but I need my item. Then your smoke fails, and you're like, wow, I wonder why the smoke failed.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this weird psychological thing that's happened since they gave everybody a courier. Everybody just kind of stopped caring about microing couriers. Big Num now, he's going to get caught trying to take back the outpost. Naive, he'll go ahead and morph into the Grand Magus. Now onto Dream. Magic Missile, not disjointed. Swap back. Chrono, and not going to yield a hell of a lot. He will set their setup. Silence. Dream does make it to the low ground. Radiant in hot pursuit, though. Another swap from Excel. Aggressive from Khan. They burn a lot for this, and they actually don't get that much. It's just the Rubik that they start. Okay, that arrow will set it up. Now they get DK, and Cyber Legacy will make it back. Whoa, Void Spirit does not go back in.
There's a lot of map pressure right now, but they do know the exorcism will be down.
Well, with the buyback for Rubik, it ends up being over a 1K swing, so it is definitely a win for Khan.
Yeah. This time
Not a big one, though.
This timing will end up pretty nice for them because the Roshan variants will more than make up for the lack of exorcism, which means basically that his ult's going to be back up by the time Roshan's up, or at least it should be, so that way they can still contest. It's probably one of the last engagements they can take before having to like wait for Rosh, because Roshan can have huge implications for a team like Khan. When you're playing against things like Chrono, it's an additional save, basically. Hero just comes back to life when they get Chronoed instead of being dead or having to be swapped or whatever. So that's always a nice thing to have.
An E-Blade on Naive will be nice. He's not that far, about halfway.
Shit's gonna get real scary when that E-Blade comes out, because there are just no save items on Cyber Legacy at all. Like the Jakiro bought a Veil. They're like fully committed for the damage output. They don't care about saving. It's like, no, we're gonna kill you before you kill us.
Oh, big
Donner here.
Shara trying to save him, but no, the arrow from downtown.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Poor Rubik. And even Rubik, yeah, he's trying to get Aether Lens. So no Ghouls, no Glimmer. You're definitely right.
Yeah, not really anything they can do about it. The only type of save you can do in that situation is like body block the arrow, but then you're putting yourself at risk. You know, it's a Rubik. Probably just let him die.
Sorry, Ruby.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
With the dieback on Big Num, he's actually sidelined for quite a while. Still 40 seconds. Magical. Oh, he's standing on a ward. Oh, that's a great ward right there.
I like the
Obviously,
position.
Dire have vision also.
Yeah, I like the positioning of Khan. Like, playing on the high ground is always one of those plays where people, if you look at it, you go, oh yeah, that makes sense. You're just on the hill. But again, in game, Like getting people to play on top of hills and stuff when you are occupying a certain place on the map is a huge deal because vision advantage is everything. And forcing people into choke points, you know, we saw how devastating that can be in last game when Khan walked up a hill and just basically all died because Cheshire Cat blinked into
Dire
it.
are scanning.
Playing on top of hills and waiting to break smokes and sitting in the trees to break smokes and all these plays, you know, they add up. Oh.
Dream is still farming well and now making progress towards the BKB. As you said last game, this build with the Midas Maelstrom, birds in one stone. It is a great damage build, but it's also really good for farming. Maelstrom, that's a clear out creep camps and split push. But he wants the BKB. Feels like he needs to live to make sure he gets off the perfect chrono.
Perfect chrono is a tough ask this game, by the way. Very tough ask.
Yeah. If he can hit Venge and Morphling, that's the dream. Venge, Morphling, and Beast. That's the real dream.
Yeah.
That's the fantasy.
If that happens, there was definitely a mistake on Conquer. That should never happen.
Also, the Orchid is out on Magical. I like that he went to the Spirit Vessel first. Very key against both Morphling and the Death Prophet.
Radiant's
But
bottom
Orchid
tower is
also
under attack.
big asset for CL. They'll
Radiant's
pressure this tier 2, but it is going to cost them a Roche, and this is Roche too, so Aegis Cheese as the BKB also comes out for Pikachu.
3 little Roshan here. Khan gonna be happy with that.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
I mean, Chrono's up. BKB on Dream. Was I just spacing out?
Yes, I did.
I was spacing out.
All good.
Sometimes I watch the game and I'm like thinking about the game and not always like 100% listening because it's just.
Oh, I'm with you.
That's how it works sometimes. All right, smoke here. My Dream.
Oh, the immediate BKB though, Primal Roar kind of mitigates it, but I think Dream still gets the safety net that he needs. Now the BKB Death Prophet running into the backline. Slayer and Perushara both getting a bit low. They still have a tier 1 tower here. They'll get a little extra armor. Pikachu, how far are we going to go? Loses the DK. They find Slayer, but it's only a Jakiro. Honestly, I think that's a win for CL.
His reaction time there was very fast on Dream. Like he BKB within like, what, quarter of a second, half a second of the smoke reveal.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
So really good stuff.
Radiant's
Not gonna.
bottom
I mean, the
tower
BKB
is
charge
under
having to be used kind of sucks because it's quite a long cooldown. Solo.
Wait, does the cooldown still change?
Doesn't it? Am I crazy? I'm living in the past.
I think you might be. Void is dead, so we'll have a moment to look it up afterwards. But now the counterplay, Excel, he's going to be in some trouble, as is Pikachu, I think, though Naive is here. He's got the burst damage, the E-Blade. It's going to bring down Big Numb once he comes back into the regular form. All right, bought a little bit of time, but Perushara also dies. Oh, okay. I thought they changed that.
It doesn't list it on the item, directly, but it just says.
Oh, you're right. It just says it on it. Okay.
You would think that it would say like 70, 65, 65, blah, blah, blah.
Is that what it is? Is it still 5 seconds per use?
It's something like that. I don't
The
remember
mystery?
all the exact numbers, you know? A lot of the game is played by feel. Roar here.
Now Magical's in trouble. He might still be able to make it out. Gets up to the high ground. Dissimulate. Very good. But Khan getting much
Dire's
more
top
out of
tower
that
is
fight.
under attack.
Chronosphere's available now, so maybe Cyber Legacy could still make something happen against this Aegis. They've still got a while to deal
Dire's
with it.
middle
2.5
tower
minutes.
is under attack.
Yeah, they do have the Chrono. I mean, there are situations where even against Aegis, you could theoretically Chrono in a way that would win you the fight.
Dire's middle
Like killing the
tower
Beast
has fallen.
and the Venge or whatever in a Chrono would be great. The one scary thing is like defensive E-Blade can actually be a little bit of a problem here. Like if the guy gets E-Bladed or whatever in Chrono, even if there is no swap,
All
it
right.
can be kind of annoying.
I don't mean to interrupt here, but I think this might be a bad tooltip on the BKB because in 7.08, it was changed to just 70 seconds instead of scaling from 80 to 55 in 5-second intervals. We might see a fight here, so we'll have to.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't be the first time a tooltip went wrong.
Yeah, Slayer down bottom.
Dire are scared.
They found him. Magical's nearby. This is a really weird fight. They're super spread out. I think CL are going to get backstabbed. The Morphling comes charging in. Chrono on two, perfectly placed from Dream. They sidestep the arrow. DK walks into it, though. Oh, Penushora, that's not great. They'll still get Cheshire Cat, I think. But it's going to cost the Magical, and this fight will not go the way CL wanted. The backstab from Khan will be effective. And I think Naive getting dangerously close to that critical mass that will take us to a game 3.
Yeah, that was near perfect execution there from Khan, like spell usage wise. I think the one thing they might have been able to do differently is swap the Beast instead of the Morphling, because Morphling still had Aegis. And that way, like, you force the guy to attack the guy with the Aegis instead of Beastmaster just dying. It's a small thing, but one little thing they could have maybe done a bit differently there. And how long? Okay, so 1 minute on the Aegis. And, I mean, no Chrono for about 2 minutes.
I mean, they won't lose Barracks, I don't think, with the Aegis, but
yeah.
quickly getting out of control. Up top, I want to see it go on to Dream. Outpost controlled by the Radiant. Silence, they force the BKB. Dream now looking to turn onto Excel, and that'll be a freebie. Now into the tree line we go. TP, he's good. Okay. So just to go full circle on the BKB, yeah, that was 7.08, and then there haven't been any other changes to it except 7.20 when they increased the recipe to 1450, the plus 75. So BKB actually hasn't been changed much, and I think that's just a relevant fact.
Still wrong.
So yeah, freebie onto Magical. Yeah, the tooltip's wrong, but the cooldown thing is right. You know, that part is accurate.
Another arrow.
Gilger
He's alone here.
Well, he does have Naive nearby. Telekinesis back, the double hop. Gilger not going to live on this one. They had detection anyway.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where as the core, you just look at your support and you go, sorry, but like, this one is not a situation I can help with, but, you know, Khan getting further and further ahead. These fights are just, it's really hard for Cyber Legacy to, like, even with that Chrono they had in the previous engagement bottom, they had so much time in the Chrono to hit heroes, and they were still really only able to get, like, what, they killed 1 hero on Khan, and they lost 4. Like, I don't know if this kind of lineup is going to have the kind of, like, damage and, like, hitting ability that they actually need to go later on into the game. Because who's going to kill more?
Yeah,
like, who's going to kill the DP as well?
And it's a different conundrum too. It's like last game against TB, you mentioned all that magic damage the Void could itemize to sort of counteract the insane amount of armor and survivability that TB has against all that physical. Now Morphling, unless you catch him on like a really bad morph or something, like with the E-Blade and everything else, he's just hard to burst down. I don't know that MKB is the same sort of counter item that you go, oh, okay, we got this now.
Yeah.
I guess Spirit Vessel is a key part of it, but...
Well, Vessel is a lot less effective
well.
when the Manta's out. It's like, as soon as the Vessel is applied, you're just gonna immediately He is going for Satanic 2 on the morph, so just have like crazy.
And I forget, nude question here. Can you morph while in Chrono? What I forget what Chrono counts as.
It works if you have morphed before the Chrono lands, but you can't activate it.
Gotcha. Okay, so you got to be preemptive. We'll see a kill onto the Jakiro. Swap to set that up.
Or wait, did they change that too? Crap, they changed morph a few times.
Yeah, I know. That's what that shit I really...
Like, I don't play morph like at all. So the last thing that I remember is that morph would actually be stopped for a while in stun, even if you had already started it, and then they changed it back to where you just morph. Yeah, I think you just morph when you're stunned if you've already used it. I'm pretty sure.
I think so too. That's my most recent memory of it, but who knows?
Chase here going on, Naive, looking hungry.
Got the Mind Breaker as well. Another great neutral item. Hands of the Morphling. There's a double damage on the DK, though it's about to expire. 8K net worth lead now. Let's check in with our robot friends. Oh, good. 17% for Cyber Legacy. So one bash away from victory.
No damage. They just don't have damage. Like, that's literally their entire lineup's problem. They have stuns, they have catch, they have all these like ways of starting a fight, but they just don't have any punching power. Like this Void needs to buy like
he's gonna go Linken's
or a
again.
Rapier or something. He's putting a lot of faith into his.
But at least he's got the enchanted quiver. That's a little bit of a damage boost.
Yeah, 400 every 5. It's actually pretty good. Like even on melee hero.
I've been flamed in a couple games for using this as a position 1 melee carry, and it's like actually not a meme if you don't have better items, especially if you don't have the Orb of Destruction or anything.
Yeah,
it's
no,
it's an okay placeholder.
There are definitely times where this will be your best damage item. Like if you don't have what is it, Mindbreaker, Orb, or any of these other items. And the other thing too is it's great on heroes with slower attack speed. Like Mindbreaker becomes great if you have like crazy attack speed because you just flat added damage per hit.
Radiant's bottom
but,
tower is
you know,
under
in this
attack.
case, if there isn't anything better, then yeah, absolutely. It's better than nothing. And I think the orb makes more sense than the DK anyway, because he's hitting the towers.
Radiant structures
Yeah,
are
that's true.
fortified.
And part of the orb also is slow, and Void
Radiant's
cares a
bottom
little
tower
bit less.
is under attack. Radiant's
people in
bottom
Chrono.
tower has fallen.
And he is really committed to the Lincolns. He's basically bought out. Just one piece left. And Morph already like half an item ahead of him. Satanic up next.
Radiant's
So
bottom
from
tower is
beefy to
under attack.
tanky.
Yeah, I don't know how a game like this, like if it just stalemates, both teams are farming. I don't know if there's ever really a point where Cyber Legacy are gonna like recover doing that, you know what I mean? Like I feel like a play needs to happen, they need to get an objective, or you know, like that backstab we saw at Condu or whatever, something like that. Nice roar. Morph's coming in.
Oh, doesn't hit anything. Magical still ready to fight.
Oh, there was like
Exorcism
2
was
fights.
used. Yeah, oh, I was looking down bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at top, so I got you, don't worry.
It looks like up top's going to be the only death. But CL do force out an exorcism, so not all bad. Kind of surprised they're able to make such a clean getaway there.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I also can't read. The BKB says duration decreases with each use, not cooldown.
Scanning.
I mean, that's both.
So yes, the duration. All right, it's a good tooltip. So
Time to get some Schoolhouse rocking.
the ending of this story, Draskell, is that yes, you were living in the past. It does
Okay.
not reduce cooldown.
That's fair.
I feel like this could be a YouTube series. 2 boomers read Dota items.
Reading is tough sometimes, man.
Those are my favorite moments in the Purge patch notes, where he spends 10 minutes doing math on something that he realizes he read wrong.
Oh, absolutely. It's always a good time.
Now Pikachu mid. Oh, this is a nice setup. Swap from Excel, a great save. Naive in the back line trying to get the Rubik. Excel will still fall first. Chronosphere comes down. Can they actually kill Pikachu? He's BKB'd and pretty tanky. They do get him. Buyback from the DP now. Rubik also falls.
I guess back with no Exo just to secure Roach.
I think so. It's a 2 for 2. Magical was the other one that went down.
He probably could have held it, to be honest, because... So in these type of situations, you have the outpost, right? Like, even if they bought back on the Void, you'd have at least, like, 10 seconds to buy out. I'm kind of surprised that he bought back there. Because they definitely don't need him for the actual Roach. He solely buys back for the purpose of, like, flexing and saying, don't come over here, we're gonna get it. But Cyber Legacy, even in the situation that Magical had buyout, like, even then, you can buy out late, you know? You don't have to do it instantly.
The net worth lead hasn't grown that much. Like, look at that graph, and Cyber Legacy have at least stalled things. This hold might be difficult without Chrono. Still 95 seconds. And the Exorcism's back up. Did they? No, they didn't use the Refresher Shard. All right, so they have 2 Exorcisms here. This is going to be tough.
Dude, Cyber Legacy, what's your out here? I cut top, honestly. That would probably be the best thing that you do. Another arrow just hits Dream in the middle of it. Yep.
All right, there's the glyph. So tier 3 falling quickly. Of course, Naive in the front lines here. Satanic is up. They're going to try to use the DK to take some of the heat. He'll BKB. They get Naive pretty low, actually. But Magical, now he's going to be done. That's the dieback. Backdoor protection for a moment, but gets broken again. Is now Big Num falls. He has a buyback and wants to burn it. They've at least got Pikachu to use his BKB, but oh wait, he's got a Refresher Shard. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Void trying to pressure as hard as he can. He gets to the tier 2 tower. So now is the question, Draskell. Do you just refresh your shard and keep this going, or do you save it and reset? I think you
the
just go.
safer play.
Radiant are scanning.
I think the safer play is to save it only because
Dyer's middle
you
tower
are in such an advantaged position.
Dyer's middle
So,
barracks
like, let's say he
respond.
does it and he just pops it. He's basically wasted half the cooldown of Exo already, right? It's like 60 seconds off.
Yeah.
Dyer's middle barracks
So,
are under attack.
I mean, you could do either way and it would probably be fine because they just don't have Chrono and they just simply can't fight without it. Gonna go for it.
Dyer's
All
bottom
right, the
tower
Void
is under
Spirit,
attack.
he's back.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
There's the
I mean, it's
buyback.
fine, like I said. They're just like, even if they do Chrono now, they're probably
Chrono's
still
up.
gonna take it.
The final hold. Can they do it? Cyber Legacy, they'll jump in. BKBs popped by both. They need Pikachu. They got to take heat off this barracks. 300 HP as the Void stun. No Chrono for you, buddy. He does not have buyback. Megas come out, and now things look rough. Cheese eaten by Pikachu, and that will demoralize CL into a GG. And Draftsky, baby, we got a game number 3.
Yeah, I mean, this could have very easily been the result of game 1 as well if Khan had just played a little bit better on their high ground push. So it's not really surprising that they take the second game. I think the Void just isn't going to work anymore. Like, at least not the way that like they're drafting and building around it. So they basically sacrifice all of their ability to save any core by itemizing like Veil on a Jakiro. You know, they have to go Vest.
How and where to use Lysol disinfectant spray to kill
you're never gonna make it. You're not good enough, there's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro, don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon, and I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming. Make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Or will you fucking fight back? You ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not thinking straight, kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking. Nah, I don't wanna hear it anymore, I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these fucking thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the motherfucking door on all you poor ass haters with your heads in the clouds, talking out loud so proud. You better shut your goddamn mouth before I do more speak out. It's about to head south. You're never gonna make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fight back.
party people. Well, Khan going at it again. The decider. Draskell's back with us again. He was confident in Khan at the end of game number 2. Draskell, has anything changed since the break?
10 seconds remaining.
Not that I know of. I mean, unless Void
5
gets picked
seconds
or doesn't get
remaining.
picked, I mean. I think that the Phoenix ban is new. And
Radiant team pick.
not sure if they're going to open Void again. Those are the only two things.
All right. Well, we got the Rubik here for Khan.
Wait, did they
Else.
ban Venola? I know they banned Eng for sure. I'd have to go back and look at the bans. I want to say Veno was banned, but I'm not 100%.
Well, hey, for you here, bud. I've got the tools. I've got the power. Bans were Phoenix and Doom,
10
as well
seconds
as
remaining.
Enchantress and Venomancer.
Okay, so Phoenix was
5
banned in the last.
seconds remaining.
Yes. So, same heroes, but banned by different team. Different pairings there.
Yeah, I'm curious what route Cyber Legacy is going to take if they don't just snap up the Void again. I know Dream can play other heroes, but you know you have to have a lot of confidence in your one player to first phase his hero 2 games in a row.
Yep.
And I would honestly, I found it kind of odd that Cyber Legacy felt so confident in first phasing it after how they won the first game. You know what I mean? Okay, they are gonna go with DB. No more Void. I like it. Now the ultimate like hilarity would be if Khan just picked the Void. I mean, I don't think they will, but they do have one of the counters to the hero on their team already.
The Rubik.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, more. The Rubik is a counter, but I look at Venge as more of a playstyle counter because you can protect Chrono relatively easily by just hitting W after you Chrono. But you can't really do anything about swap. Like defensive things that are used on heroes are really hard for Void to deal with, like swaps or like Oracle ulti or whatever. Sometimes Shallow Grave if you have that hero, but swap is really annoying because not only does it stop the hero from taking damage, but it moves them out of harm's way completely, assuming the Venge is in the right spot. So it's like, in my opinion, it's one of the hardest counters.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right that when you look at counters and
10
stuff,
seconds remaining.
things like swap become top of the stack at a certain point. Like, yeah, Chrono
5
counters pretty much
seconds
everything.
remaining.
You swap somebody out of a
Team
Chrono.
back.
What's the play after that? That's kind of where it ends. It ends with Venge gets what she wants out of it.
There is
So I think you're
one
definitely right.
technically better save in the game, but it's on a trash hero, and that's
False
Pudge.
Promise? Oh, Hook. Okay.
Yeah, you can hook them out of the Chrono,
Radiant
but
team back.
Pudge is such a bad hero that I don't think you'll ever see it picked. Like, that hero is just, ooh. Ice
That is
Frog
weird.
really killed him.
Most things don't work in Chrono. Like you can't force staff somebody out of a Chrono.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you can't. Mobility tools, Hook, I guess, is sort of like swap. It's a uniquely positioned
10 seconds
type
remaining.
spell. Pudge, man. He was starting to make a little bit of a
5
run.
seconds remaining.
There was like a window there, like a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, something like that, where he was so tanky. I was seeing him a lot in my pubs, and his win
Yeah.
rate was going up.
They gave him.
Then they gutted that, and he can't deny himself, and it's just over.
Yeah, they gave him the 1-2 punch because his Flesh Heap used to have the regen, P-regen tied to it, which gave him an actual laning phase. And then they took that away and then also took Ratanai in the same patch. That's just like the harshest set of nerfs I've ever seen on a hero. Like, that was super heavy-handed to just do both.
Well,
Like,
so
even,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, even just one of them would have been enough. Like,
Yeah.
he was already dead, Ice Frog. You didn't have to shoot him twice.
One thing that Trent and I have spent a lot of time looking at are like the different win rates of heroes across the different skill brackets, and it's pretty fascinating to see how that trends with like skill level. And when you look at it, there are certain heroes that have to be balanced around the fact that, yeah, they're not that relevant in the pro scene, but they are picked so much in these lower tier games. And like Wraith King was like that, where he was just dumpstering Herald, Crusader,
Radiant team
Guardian
pick.
brackets for a while
Yeah.
there.
Team pick.
It's like, why did we nerf him? He's not winning pro games. That shit ain't for pro games, man. You got to remember how many, what percentage of the Dota pubs are played at those lower brackets.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the game can't just be balanced universally around one like level of player.
Yeah, but Pudge is also in that category.
10
He is
seconds
still like
remaining.
one of the most played heroes across all the skill brackets. If you look outside of
5
Divine and
seconds
more, so
remaining.
Oh yeah, he's always been that way, right? Ever since
I think so. Yeah.
The,
The
beginning
big
of
one that's
Divine,
changed is
basically.
Drow. She used to be the like queen of the castle all over the place, and now she's not getting the same love that she used to.
Radiant team.
I wonder why she's pixel off in the low MMR. It's kind of weird to
I
me.
think she's just the face of the game for marketing.
Beastmaster.
Yeah, that could be.
Toby helped us out a lot with that as well, so you know.
Beastmaster.
Tide
Odd.
Beast. Yeah, some snap picks here. So
The response is just strange because you can't really roar Tide. Tide naturally. Okay,
10
so when we were
seconds
talking the other
remaining.
day about heroes that are good against Beastmaster, Tide was
5
pretty much the top of that
seconds
list.
remaining.
yeah,
Because you can't roar him. Kraken Shell negates like all the damage that your minions can do. Incredible counter initiation to him. So if he gets a roar and you have like blink or something, you can kind of just go into the fight and just stop everything, right? And plus, he's also really good against TB. Base damage reduction on Anchor Smash is fantastic. He can just be wherever he wants to be in this game, and the only thing that really scares him is Magic Burst, which they only have Lich and Tiny. So he will eventually get to a point where those heroes will not be able to kill them on their own anymore.
Dire team back.
I'm kind of scared about the Beastmaster. I'm not sure about this one. I mean, maybe they have some idea in mind that I'm just not privy to, which is entirely possible. And now Khan going for the Spectre. It's a pretty good Spectre game.
Radiant
They're gonna have to get their
team back.
lanes right though, otherwise your Spectre's just gonna lose her tower like very, very quickly.
so this could be a game where we see some musical lanes. I think of the matches you and I have cast, it's been relatively static, but this strikes me as one, if Beastmaster gets the matchup against Spectre, it's
Dire
great for
team
Cyber
back.
Legacy. If he gets the matchup against Tide, that's great for Khan.
Yeah,
That's-
you definitely, if you are Khan, I think it is more important for them to get the Tide and the Spectre in the right lane than it is for Cyber Legacy, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Because like the Tide is important not in just in the sense that it can, you know, hold up against a
10
Beastmaster.
seconds
It's that
remaining.
those towers won't die because he'll be there, and not a lot of heroes
5
can do that.
seconds
So
remaining.
if they don't want to lose map control against a Beastmaster team and a TB, which God, I would not want to lose map control against Cyber Legacy's lineup right now. I think it's very, very important for them to get the lanes right.
Final bans. Pugna and Viper both taken out. Looks like both teams looking for a mid laner.
You know, I don't mean to cut you off, but this happened. This is happening again. Where is Khan's damage?
Yeah, you're not. That's like the thing about
Where-
this Venge. Like they
Which
pick
one
up
of these
this,
heroes does damage?
this Vengeful Spirit like every game,
Radiant
and then
team back.
that's fine. But you have to compensate for the fact that like even with their offlaners too,
They like need a bursty mid hero.
these are like the kind of guys that they've got a kitchen that's stocked with all the stuff you put on the food, but they don't have the actual food. They don't have the
Yeah.
meat that you put the condiments on, but they've got
10
every condiment.
seconds
I mean,
remaining.
Cyber Legacy has tons of damage. Like they got Meta TB, they got Chain
Yeah.
Frost, Tiny Combo.
5
Dude, they got meat for
Beastmaster.
days. They're purists. They're just rocking the A1 and that's it.
Yeah, I can't hate it. Like it's good. I'm just looking at Khan's lineup and I'm like, well now you need like a Queen or maybe actually Invoker would be solid this game. It's very hard for Cyber Legacy to get to the back line. You could even do Exort, I think, if you wanted to.
You really like the Invoker. I like
Oh, dude, whenever I see, okay, so I used to be a mid player, right? I used to exclusively play
back when
mid.
you were young.
Back when my hands worked, no, but I used to play mid a lot, and the games where it's a huge tell on if it's an Invoker game or not are when there's like very, very low amounts of heroes on the enemy team that can get in your face. And really no one on Cyber Legacy does that until Blinks. And even then, you have like Swap Save, you have Tidehunter.
Dire
Like there
team
are spells that are going to be used for your defense. They are going to ban the Queen, which is obviously the go-to here.
Radiant team
But I
pick.
do like it because it offers them
Spirit.
like damage and control. But they're going to go with the Storm. Okay.
This fixes some of their damage issues.
Yeah, it does.
I would maybe say this looks potentially greedy for Khan.
Yeah, my concern is that it can get very hard countered and have a very tough time in lane. But I
10
guess
seconds
saying
remaining.
that, a lot of the counters are banned. Like Viper's out, DP's out, no
5
Pugna, no
seconds
Queen,
remaining.
no Cheese Bat Rider.
And I've
So-
also observed this trend with Storm where even if he has a bad lane, a lot of games it feels like it doesn't matter that much because he just jungles, and he jungles so fucking fast that, yeah, it's not ideal, but he still has a game.
Yeah, it's not like he's gonna get smushed out of the map, but he will you know, depending on what Cyber Legacy pick, there is potential for some bad
Choose your
matchup
hero.
here. Okay, it's a Void Spirit.
That's not that bad. Yeah, I think Storm should be able to hit. It's a bit of a skill matchup. Void has options, but so does the Storm.
Yeah, this is fine for Storm. I think that it might be. I mean, it is a skill thing. I'm trying to think of the last time I saw this matchup because both these heroes are played quite a bit in high MMR in the mid lane, so that it's pretty even.
Yeah.
Because Void can negate a lot of the auto attack harass damage by just using his E and stuff. He'll still take overload, obviously, but I think the advantage comes that the Storm can push the wave a lot harder because his nuke is a lot more mana efficient than what the Void Spirit has. So it should help him maybe control runes a bit better. And from the side of Khan, there's really not going to be a whole lot of rotation. However, there is a Tiny on Cyber Legacy, and that could be the difference maker in the mid lane. You get tossed into the tower or whatever, can be a very easy death.
Very true. Drafts. I like it. I don't know which draft I like better.
I think all things considered, I believe I like Khans a little bit more. Just because I feel like... okay, so if the lanes go well, and the Tidehunter's against the Beastmaster, I feel like Petishar is not going to have really a whole lot of influence, or at least not nearly as much as he would like. They're going to have to expend a lot of resources to deal with Tide. And I think that's exactly what Khan want. Like, they want to make the Tide a target so that the Spectre and the Storm can have somewhat of a game. But you can't just really afford to have your Beastmaster just shut off by one hero. It's kind of the opposite of what you want when you pick this guy. You want him to mode out things. You want to enable your 5-man. You want him to bully people just straight up out of the lane.
This definitely strikes me. I like the global sort of presence that Khan have with Storm and Spectre, but heroes that can get across the map pretty fast. Like, if they get ahead, if they can be very oppressive lead heroes. Storm and Spectre are so painful to play against when they're like rolling. So I could see it maybe ball out of control, but the Cyber Legacy draft just feels maybe a little... I think Khan could run into greed problems. Like, conversely, if they start to fall behind, they're... space on Tide, but he farm and quickly with X-Men. He can kill stacks, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I think that it's important whenever you're looking at a team and judging how greedy it is, that you look at their wave clear, right? Okay. Because a greedy team that has no wave clear will inevitably lose lots of towers. Why will they lose towers? Because their team is probably not strong in lane. That's kind of one of the big hallmarks of being greedy, right? Their lanes are just kind of weak. And then they won't be able to clear waves, so what'll happen is they'll just, every time they make a move, they'll take a ton of chip damage, they'll take more chip damage, tier 1s will just eventually die to like attrition, or maybe they just get completely forced out of lane, and they can't push anywhere else fast enough to make a play. So the thing about Khan's team is they have a lot of wave clear, right? Like Rubik can clear the wave, Storm can clear the wave, Tidehunter can clear the wave. Having 3 heroes that are pretty decent at killing creeps, like that's enough, in my opinion, to be able to warrant having some heroes that might not come online ultra fast. Now, if I'm looking at the lanes, it does seem like Cyber Legacy are getting what they want. They're not putting the Beast against the Tide. I think this is a huge mistake, but we'll see. I guess kind of how things play out. If Naive feels like he can play against Beastmaster, then, power to him. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see. I think if this was a Warlock or like an Oracle, then maybe you can just sustain the Spectre enough that even though the boars are annoying, she still farms. I'm not confident that Venge is the 5 that will be able to handle the Beastmaster.
Yeah, you remember the other day when we saw the Venge feed like over and over again to the Beastmaster boards?
Was that game 1 today? Was that this morning, dude? Or
no, that was like 2 days ago.
Has it happened twice? Well, we've had Venge in every fucking game today, so...
Yeah, that's true, that's true. But the last game, or the game that you're talking about, they actually had Venge and the Beast on the same team, right? Because they were picking it into the Void.
They might.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. But anyway, the Spectre cannot help the Venge in this lane, like, at all. All you can do is throw a dagger. Dagger's probably not going to be enough to peel. When Big Num hits level 2 or 3, a toss back into a stun is just a dead Venge, just every time. So that's kind of like another reason why I really wanted them to put the Tide in this lane, because if you're Rubik Tide against Beast Tiny, you're never dying, like ever. You're going to get Anchor Smash and Fade Bolted. You're going to do 0 damage. You can't even really get to the Rubik in that lane. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Maybe my understanding of this lane is not what I think it is, and maybe Naive will do fine.
We will see indeed. Lanes break out here. Runes went even. Looks like Excel was able to kill an Observer Ward already, so that's quite nice. Keep an eye on this mid lane as well. The Storm Void Spirit. Pikachu versus Magical.
Yeah, I want to see how this lane goes too. It seems like right now Magical has the edge. He's doing the normal mid thing. You know, auto attack the wave, shove it as hard as you can, get under his tower. I mean, during the mid game, I think it's going to be a bit easier for Pikachu to play than the Void Spirit.
Now, Jaskel, I got a question for you. Preference here. What is your absolute favorite taunt in Dota?
My favorite taunt is the Weaver taunt. The one where he like flips upside down and
zap one.
Yeah, he just flails his legs everywhere. I don't know why, but that one just gets me.
All right,
so good.
Pretty good. Oh, up top, Big Num.
Big Num?
Is he? I think he'll make it out. The fours should help. Indeed. I'm a big fan of the backstroke tide. I know it's old. I know it's classic, but there's something about that backstroke. I feel like it actually
really
does
good.
wear people down mentally when they see that shit over and over.
It's like top 3.
Yeah.
For me, it's like the Weaver one, the backstroke, and then the Undying Thriller taunt.
Oh, yeah. Funk of the Dead. Here we go. First Blood does come out onto Slayer. Gilgir getting credit for that one. Yeah, Funk of the Dead is pretty top tier. There's like items now that taunt for you when you get like turnaround kills. I'm not a big taunter, but now my Undying taunts when I get big kills.
Yeah, also courier kills and stuff, I think, and low health TPs are like auto taunts.
Pretty dope.
Yeah, I remember it happening like a while ago in a game. I was like, wait, I didn't taunt. What the hell's happening?
Yeah, I thought I was going crazy. I was like, did I rebind my hotkeys? What the hell's happening? Big Num's fine.
He's got boots. He's going the long way around. He's just trying to give Beast solo EXP, I guess. But this pull is not... I don't know if this is really what he wanted to do. He's giving the Spectre...
Gonna work out, though. He's going to get it back in his tower, right?
Yeah, but Naive is holding the wave, right? He's not letting it take tower damage.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, and he missed it anyway, so... All right. Yeah, that doesn't...
It's not the
deny
best.
A range creep. That's like the one silver lining.
But they're going to lose like this whole wave now. Like, this is actually quite bad.
The CS is even, but this should be a lot worse for Naive, I'd say. I mean, Spectre's the one pressuring right now. That's not how this is supposed to go.
Yeah, when you do stuff like that, it really messes the lane equilibrium, and sometimes you end up with a bigger wave than your opponent, and you can just like bully because of that. So, I mean, right now it seems to be going fine for the Spectre. So, I don't know if it's because of the way that he stopped the pull, or like because Big Num is spending so much time on the side, but it might just be because it is tiny and not an actual like range 4.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a 2v2 really. It feels like a 1v2 with Tiny kind of on guard to jump in if something breaks out. Bit of a different
feel. Gonna check top rune.
4 minutes. Meanwhile, some skirmishing in the mid.
Okay, so he's 4.5. And then the Void Spirit is 5. Yeah, that kind of sucks, because if the Void Spirit hits 6, you can just get killed again before you get your ball, and that would be really painful.
That's kind of like what we saw, was it game 1 of that Queen of Pain?
Yeah. Bot lane here. Dive. Ooh.
Denied! Slayer lives.
Then top as well. Action everywhere.
Big Gnome and Excel. It's going to be Excel that falls first. And again, Naive not able to chase. You definitely can feel the impact of the boars, though. Even though not able to kill the Spectre, it is preventing her from finding any kind of these chase down kills. Like, I don't know if Big Gnome would have died there, but 100% he lives because of the slow.
Yeah, and it also does secure both the runes top for his team by getting that Venge kill, because they won't be able to contest, obviously, with the dead hero.
Yep.
So, nice little kill. Wrap around on bot.
Dream. Gilgir feels like this guy's everywhere. He's putting in the work.
Yeah. So, Magical's level 6. Not going for any crazy dive. He wants it so bad, dude. You can feel it.
Top, they want Naive. Here's the pressure. Coffee Cell Tiny, level 3. Naive with the TP out.
Nice.
Smart man.
Yep, not giving away the kill. I mean, there's not much he can really do about this. Eventually, the beast is just going to take your tower. It's just something you have to accept. If it was Cheshire Cat up here, might not be the same, but
Dire structures are
with the lanes the way they are.
Magical is doing the math right now. I think you're totally right. And oh, he's going to get the regen spawn. 6 minutes.
Radiant's
Bro, is this 2
middle
games in a
tower
row
is
that this has
under
happened?
attack. Dire's
I
top
think it was at
tower
4
is
minutes
under
last
attack.
time, but
Oh yeah,
pretty
4
much.
minutes.
Dream down
Bot
bottom again. Stick charges. I think he's okay. Big Num makes the rotation. Still some time on meta. Maybe the counter kill onto Gilgear. Slowed down by Slayer. A little frost shield. There it is.
Still pretty even early game here. Tier 1's still alive. It lived through the first cart wave. I would assume it'll be dead the next time. Especially since, yeah, Petishar has Roar now. So whoever wants to come top, I would actually not be surprised to see Magical just make a top rotation, like push in mid, TP top with his regen, just get a kill and then just take the tower. D move for them to make right now.
It does feel like the Beastmaster's ramping up.
Under attack.
Like, I think Khan have handled this top lane very well. Honestly, this has been better for Naive than I thought it would be, but it's just getting harder. And we don't even have maxed out boars yet. You can see they're using magic missiles on the boars just to keep this lane alive.
It's not too bad. The big thing is the Tiny, right? Like, if it was another 4 hero that wasn't Tiny, I think this lane would have been much more difficult to manage. But yeah, like you mentioned, still, he's barely behind the Beastmaster, to be honest. Pretty darn close, all things considered. Mid lane, little bait.
Shu, is this a turnaround potentially?
top
Rubik's
tower
here.
is
They'll
under
pull Magical
attack.
back into the tower, but he's got an Astral Step. Stick charges, infused raindrops, and a bottle. This man's got regen for days.
God, they really want this 8-minute rune. They have both supports mid.
All right, is it going to spawn up top, or will it just go bottom? 8 minutes, it comes out, and Excel dies, and the illusion rune spawns
Radiant's
in the bottom
middle
position.
tower is under attack.
Big Num. Okay, Magical.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Beastmaster doing
Radiant's
BM
middle
things
tower
up
is
top.
under attack.
On there, as Naive moves into the jungle.
Yeah, this is the tricky part now is you can't really put Naive bottom. Cheshire Cat going for a dive here. He does have Ravage.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Storm is
Dire's
nearby,
top
just in
tower
case.
has fallen.
But yeah, like, Naive would probably want to either occupy mid or bottom normally, but he can't do it against the Lich.
Magical. Are you a Void Spirit player, Draskell? You playing them new fashioned heroes?
A little bit. I've played him a little bit. Like
Yeah.
an expert or anything.
He's pretty dirty. I could see you getting into that.
He's really fun for like 20 to 25 minutes. And then you just fall off a cliff. Like you just stop. Like the combos that are supposed to kill people no longer kill people, and that just feels bad. Damage here on a Pikachu should be fine.
Don't think this will be a kill. Yeah, plenty of mana. Zips down. Yeah, you have to really maintain momentum. Like to be relevant in late game, you've got to.
I mean, even if you
break that shit down.
Like the normal Void Spirit item progression just doesn't involve a lot of damage usually. You know, you see like Orchid, Ags, BKB, or like Yule.
Deso.
Sometimes Deso. If the game is like really lacking in CC, you can get Deso, or if your team like desperately needs damage, sometimes you see like Spirit Vessel, you know, like we saw previously. But at some point, no matter how good of a game you're having, you're just gonna go, God, I just do no damage anymore. It just inevitably happens every game.
4-2. Another relatively low kill score game at the laning phase.
Smoke here on
Radiant's middle
doing
tower is
Excel.
under
They're looking
attack.
for somebody. They're gonna find a beast.
Petsu, he's got the high ground. All right, zip in. Necronomicon units coming over. Naive haunts in. Reality. Petushara will fall.
Has been killed.
Tiny also comes into the fray. Okay, now Big Num's in some trouble. Well, the lead that CL had was gone now.
Regeneration.
Yeah, this is a. Didn't this exact same thing happen in the last game? Beastmaster, I think it was Cheshire Cat, just kind of sitting too far top or whatever, kind of just dies randomly.
Yeah,
I think
almost exactly the same.
In the same spot on the map on the same team, yeah.
Around the same time, yep. Well, now here up in the dire jungle, they're gonna find Magical. Does have another astral step. They've got a lot of lockdown. He gets into the trees, TP, cheeky shit, not gonna work out. Naive.
It's under attack.
It was a nice try, although I'm not quite sure why he was walking up the hill alone. Maybe he just really thought he couldn't die. I don't know. It was definitely a strange maneuver, to say the least. Like, what's your end game there? What is the ideal situation walking into the woods completely alone with no vision up a hill?
Maybe he's just looking for a solo pick, hoping to catch Storm on low mana, killing a stack. I don't know. That's it, right? That's the only scenario in which that has a payday.
That's why it's such a weird move. When you can't think of anything, like, just very obvious, usually it just means that there was not really a reason behind it. And typically that's seen as bad play, because if you can't immediately tell me that you did it because you saw this guy move here and whatever, and like I can get this kill if he's standing here, then it just has to be a bad move, right?
nerds.
Like, just objectively.
It's probably fair with conventional logic.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just kind of you lapse into that autopilot that a lot of players have, where you just kind of say, oh, you know what, I'm really mobile, I do lots of damage, I'm just gonna walk into their woods. You know, it's a very like basic thought process, but you'd be surprised how even like top players can do that stuff. They like, their autopilot is obviously at a much higher level than most people, but sometimes
I see it with runes the most with pro players. The fucking haste rune confidence, man. Oh, I'm unkillable
it
right now. They got a Yules, buddy. They do have a Dispel, so confirmed you are not, quote, unkillable.
Yeah, this, we haven't talked a lot about bottom, but Cheshire Cat, just living the life, you know? Just a thick man down here, anchor smash and creep waves. TB can't really ever kill this guy.
He's got Big Numb tossing it back in now.
Tiny can.
And
body blocks.
Body blocks, backstroke. Apparently backstroking gives you phasing, that helps. And that's it. All right, they get tied to half HP. Very nice. He'll salve up.
Yeah, very odd that he popped meta for that. Maybe they just want the tower. I don't know. I mean, they are pushing into Ravage. Arcane Rune on Pikachu too. This would be a very dangerous time to push. Pikachu. Oh, he doesn't have TP actually. Okay. Maybe if they saw him TP, they'll push. I'm not sure if they did though.
It's still hard to push into the Tide. I mean, the threat of Ravage, sure, but that's level 9.
This is when Tide feels the best, when you can just sit there and just be like, yeah, go ahead, do it, you know? Come at me, bro. I dare you. Okay, he's actually dead.
Oh no, Chain Frost was too much.
My God.
These are the two heroes that can kill him on the map. If it's TB, you're not scared. If it's, Beast, you're not scared. If it's these two, you're scared.
I clicked away as soon as you said that. When you said he's actually dead, I kind of thought you were joking.
No, he actually can die.
I realized that he died, and I kind of missed the kill. So.
Yeah, I mean it's fine because like in these types of games, you'll have to buy like one item to live through some magic burst as Tide, and then you'll just go back to being the unkillable melon that you were born to be. I mean, so far it's still pretty quiet. Cyber Legacy maintain a little bit of a lead here, but nice. Okay, he's just going straight for the Manta. Pretty standard stuff. No drums, anything like that. They're not looking to play super fast.
All right, I haven't seen this as much. I feel like Midas or Drum first has still been the big go-to on Spectre in most games.
Yeah, I don't know. I think his lane was still not as free that he would want it to be to buy Midas, but I think drums would have been fine. I think the only reason he went double Wraith is because they didn't lane swap, and double Wraith gives you a ton of armor. And your hero already has a lot of base HP regen, especially under a tier 1. So double Wraith is just super cost-efficient value, whereas drums are still a bit bigger of an investment, considering how much double Wraith costs in comparison.
Teddy Shara up top. They've gone fishing and they found a big one. And there's that global presence we talked about during the draft. So easy for Spectre to help out in those little
Radiant
engagements, hop
structures
across the
are
map if
fortified.
needed.
Yeah, if you're out of position against Khan, you're probably just dead.
almost feel bad.
It's another reason why I kind of favor
Radiant's
them
bottom
going into
tower
this game.
is under attack.
Because
Radiant's
it's one thing to
bottom
have vision
tower has
advantage with like
fallen.
Hawk and stuff, but to be able to just jump from long distances is very hard to play against. Smoke here. Cyber Legacy infiltrating the jungle. They are going to get revealed. Nice smoke break there from Gilger.
I almost feel bad.
They're gonna
Giving
find
the all chat BM.
anything. I almost
Dire's
feel
structures
bad.
Are fortified.
If I'm being totally honest, that voice line in
Radiant's
Yeah?
bottom
That
like
one
whenever
in
I
particular?
see that, even when it's not even a good play,
Dire's
someone does
middle
that and I'm
tower
like, all
is
right, I'm
under
tilted.
attack. Dire's
Yikes.
middle tower has fallen.
I don't know why.
I
it's-
like
guess
the
it just-
Aghanims lines, but they've started to grade me a little bit. The chicken
Oh,
bok
yeah.
bok one actually, but if I hear that like by the 20th
Dire's
time in a
turret
game,
has
I'm a
been
little
killed.
bit on edge. I won't lie. That's mine.
Collapsing here on bot. Gilger gonna eat a gank.
He'll eat a primal roar. That's all right. Ooh, are they gonna get one more? Naive does not have dagger for 7.
Nice juice. That's really nice.
My path.
He broke vision for just the right amount of time for him to be able to sneak out of the right because of night vision. It was very well done. It just looked like he just casually stopped, but if he didn't do that, there was a chance that he would have been spotted on his way out.
Now mid. Gets his blink dagger now. All right. It's a big enabler for the Tiny.
Illusion.
And book 3 done on the Beastmaster.
Yeah, he's able to go for the book this match. Last time, I think we saw the Necro 1 into blink
Dire's bottom tower is
because they
under
didn't really
attack.
have any catch. And now it's just, you know, straight Necro 3 because you already have the blink Tiny, you have the Void Spirit. Your initiators are already kind of online, so it's really nice to be able to just go for that item because it's such a big increase in damage on heroes. Like Necros just destroy heroes because they buff the damage that they do to heroes, but they nerfed it to like everything else.
Ben's just gonna feel the pain.
Oh, she's gonna evaporate like every time.
They're looking at this Tide Hunter. They have the calculator out like, okay, can we kill this guy? He's level 11. Guess not. Let it go.
Yeah, we haven't even seen a Ravage yet, right? 17 minutes.
I don't
no
think
Ravage?
so. Cheshire Cat's been pretty planted down bottom. He's got a mech.
And both these teams, they're just content to farm, man. You know, whenever this happens, I
Dire's
always
top
have a
tower
saying.
is under attack.
Two teams are just farming. One of them is wrong. Just every time. One of them should not be farming. You know, it's just up
I
to
guess you're right. Like every game has like somebody will do better with farm and like win the late game. Like one team
Right.
always benefits more from passive play than the other, just by nature
And
of Dota.
it's not even just that.
Be a big margin, but it can't be completely even.
It also could be that you're farming through your power spike, right? Like, you're farming at a time where you just got a really key item, and you don't know how to use it, or you don't feel safe, or whatever. Far forward there, bud.
Okay, and he's gonna die to the zoo of illusions and necro units. There we go. Roche still pretty healthy. They'll drop the haunt for this. They get magical off to the side. Yeah, I was watching the back line here where Cheshire Cat's chasing him down. Ends up a 1-for-1, but now Big Num jumps back in and they get the Tide Hunter, no Ravage. High back though, Pikachu low on mana. And now the chase up to high ground. Cyber Legacy, they want to keep on going.
Looking for me?
Orchid, zip back. Big Num blinks in, looking for more. He's caught him. There's the toss back.
Are fortified.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cyber Legacy.
This is the issue we talked about in the draft. Where's the damage? Does your damage? They killed one core hero on the side of Cyber Legacy. There's a book 3 and a meta TV out, and they didn't even expend Chain Frost for that. So it was just, you know, the Tide got himself too low, so Cheshire Cat couldn't Ravage. The meta is down, so it is a little bit scary to keep doing this. They're gonna go up the hill though. Great kill on Excel.
Another one.
They need Ravage. Like, their Tide's still not here.
Gilger.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Now he's gonna get caught. Khan playing the 1-by-1 game. This is starting to feel kind of costly. Roche, 3k HP. Cheshire Cat. Toss back in again. Buyback from Rubik. Khan, what are we doing? What are we doing? They're trying to stop this Ravage. Primal Roar does it again. Pikachu still has most of his mana bar. Now they jump in onto the Terrorblade. There's the Ravage. Chain Frost finds a kill. And they also get Dream. All right, it works out okay for Khan so far. This is the fight. Magical trying to go blow for blow with the Spectre. Now Pikachu reinitiates, and it's Big Numb that gets brought down. They'll find the Lich also, and it ends up working out pretty well for Khan. This did cost them a Rubik buyback, and now I think they've got Roche. I don't know.
If I was here, I would say for sure.
Well, they have Medallion. That's the one thing that makes me think they might be able to.
It's just that they, like, the respawn timers are so low, right? 10 seconds for pretty much everyone.
The Storm's out of mana. Those Necro units are whomping on him. Excel comes in, and now they might turn onto Magical. Pikachu ends up being an amazing bait, but the Necro units again shopping at the Venge. They're trying their best. The Gush! The Axe is not enough. Vex there. Okay.
This is just turned into a battle royale for Roche. Oh my god.
This is absolute chaos. Cheshire Cat dies again. Roche still at about 50% HP, but it's now Cyber Legacy that move into the pit.
This has taken so long, Sayori, that meta came off cooldown. That is a 2 minute and what, 25 second? 2 minute and 35 second cooldown?
Yeah, that was... I mean, Cyber Legacy win it, I guess. They don't have to burn any buybacks. They get Roche.
That was absolute insanity. Both teams putting a very high value on the Roche.
Now, Dreskel, we should have talked about this at the beginning of the series, but it's even more hype here for Game 3. This is a big series. So we've got 2 groups of 6 to go into the bracket. You have to be top 3 in your group to make it to the playoff bracket. So bottom 3 are eliminated. Right now, Khan are 1 and 2, and Cyber Legacy are 2 and 1. So if Khan win this, they actually go into like a potential tiebreak scenario, I think.
Okay.
If Cyber Legacy win this, then Khan are 100% eliminated. So like on Liquipedia, the other 2 teams are red. Khan still has a chance. So I think Khan is fighting for survival in this. They absolutely have to win to have a chance to make it into the playoffs.
Here we go again.
All right, in onto Storm. CL holding the fate of their opponents right now as they find Excel. Primal Roar. They're going to get Gilgir. It's 2 easy kills. Player probably going to go down in exchange. Yes, he does. Another very awkward, drawn-out fight. Storm chasing down Big Numb. He'll just have to TP out. In the end, it will favor Cyber Legacy yet again. And, oh, maybe not done yet. Naive does get taunted back. They have some tree clear. Naive is in such a weird spot, but now the Ravage comes out. The mech, the taunt again. Naive sustaining. The Great Chase continues. They break the trees. Naive's down. Cheshire Cat trying to grab something in the back line, but it's going to end up another good fight for CL after a long chase. What is going on? Why are these fights so ridiculously like chaotic and spread out?
Both the teams have like they both kind of suffer from damage somewhat. Like Cyber Legacy, their TB and their Beastmaster can't do much if they get Anchor Smashed, right? So it like completely guts all their damage if that happens, outside of just the tiny combo and like the Lich spells. So when that happens, the fight is just going to be long, right? Because Khan don't have a lot of damage of their own. Like, basically all of their damage is coming right now from the Storm, and I guess the Tide if he has all his spells up. The Spectre only has a Manta. Like, no Diffusal or anything like that. It's 23 minutes in, so definitely falling behind in terms of itemization on this hero. And you're not really feeling powerful until you get to your second item on Spectre, because you want that mana burn from the Diffusal and such, and the Desolate propagating to your illusions when the hero's alone and all that stuff. So the fights just kind of, they just stretch out, because no one's really doing that much damage.
Like, even TB, he's ahead of the Spectre by a good amount now, but he's got BKB, SNY, Dragonlance. Like, he's not crazy damage yet.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing about TB is that
Dire's
you're all
bottom tower
stats,
has fallen.
right? And Anchor Smash and Fade Bolt together are just base damage reductions.
Oh yeah, so you're
Even Metamorph itself gives you base damage. It doesn't give you added damage.
yeah, that's pretty brutal. Yolger, he's in some trouble here. He is dusted up.
Dire's
dead.
middle tower is under attack.
Another pick
Radiant's
for
top tower is
Cyber
under
Legacy.
attack.
Meanwhile,
now.
Dream just taking tier 2s. He took bottom. He's just headed mid. It's like, I got BKB. I got Aegis. I actually have no fears right now.
Yeah,
Dire's
this is
middle
the
tower
king of the
is
map
under
right here.
attack.
B.
Dire's
Even if he
middle
gets
tower
Orchid Cast
has
on him or
fallen.
whatever, it won't matter that much. Trying to kill the Lich. We're up to the high ground.
King for a day. Storm. Wow, is he good at snatching bounty runes?
Yeah, I mean, Storm is pretty mobile. That's the last time I checked. Gonna get them all.
Well, things continuing. 18 to 12, 6K net worth lead. Numbers right now.
I wonder if Khan will ever get to a stage where they deal enough damage. I mean, they can kill the supports on Cyber Legacy.
Yeah. Oh, now they turn onto the Storm. They force the BKB and they turn it back onto Magical. A little back and forth there, but it's definitely Khan that come out ahead. Big Num gonna get caught as well as the Beastmaster, it looks like. Not gonna be able to chase
Aegis
down
faded.
Beast. Good time to take a fight for Khan. All right. Hey, that's something.
Yeah, that was nice. I mean, the Storm fall in. BKB, I think that was the first BKB? Yeah, it was. Okay, they're gonna get Excel. So 1 for 2. Killing a support and also getting a kill on the Void Spirit. I mean, that's big because the Void Spirit is a lot of their reach in this game, and when
Radiant's
he's
middle
dead,
tower
you
is
feel a
under
lot
attack.
safer to pretty much occupy any
Dire's
space on the
top
map
tower is under
if you're
attack.
Khan. They're going to be trading a tier 2
Dire's
for a
top
tier
tower
1 though,
is
and I
they
can't believe this
even?
tower is... Yeah, I was going to say, it's not even going to die.
BB's here.
And that feels so bad, actually, that they can't even kill that tower.
Yeah, it was just a free tier 2 up top.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Find Magical again.
Whoops.
Just a freebie.
Yeah, I was admiring the Necro units up top. My bad.
Yeah, he didn't see it coming either, don't worry. They were just sitting on top of the hill and he just walked right into him. They just read what he was going to do when he respawned. The map, they saw that bottom was pretty much the only push lane. And they just said, you know what? There's a good chance he's just going to TP here when he respawns. And he did. He just eats another death.
Sharakat continuing to farm. Guardian Greaves up next. He's also carrying around Squiddles, one of my favorite cosmetics. Big fan. You see that little green trail that Squiddles leaves? I remember thinking
Radiant's
like,
bottom tower
damn, that's
is
so
under
cool.
attack.
Look at all the particles. That was 8 years ago.
Yeah, it was like one of the first cosmetics, right?
It was one of the first ones that left a trail like that, at least that I remember. And I remember being blown away by it, like a kid. Kid at the candy shop.
Yeah.
Merlini gave me my first Squiddles. I'll treasure it forever.
That's dope. Ben never gave me any. Nah, it's all good. I had
Well, I
so
did
many-
live with him, so you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, here we go. CL pushing out. They want to defend this tier 1 all right. And again, Magical jumps out for it, and he gets put to rest. Ravage, Haunt, the whole kitchen sink. BKB from Dream. They'll just jump onto the Tiny, but now Storm saved by a swap. Stolen Primal Roar. Jane Frost bouncing around, but they get the kill on Pedusara. Big Num also in trouble. 3-0 thus far. Cyber Legacy in big trouble. Buyback now from Tiny as Cheshire Cat gets into the tower. Big Num with the toss. And looks like they'll get a counter kill on the Tide. Oh! No!
No way.
Now you're fish.
Get the hell out of here.
Boy. Whew, you love to see it. You love to see
You
the
should see if you
backstroke.
could get that Squiddles there, Draskell. That thing's good luck or something.
Yeah, that was crazy.
My God.
See you later.
I didn't think he would be able to fog him for that long, but turned out to be just enough time. I can't. Titan. Yeah, I was gonna say, he could definitely use some magic resist this game. Like, the tiny combo is definitely hurting him a lot. Like, it's getting him below half, and that's already, like, pretty scary range to be in if you're a Tide Hunter and you need to be able to frontline for your team.
Well, he wants Halberd instead, so not gonna take heed to your advice on that one.
I mean, raw HP is okay. Halberd isn't bad against TB by any means. Being able to disarm him is great. But it
Now
feels
smoke.
like... Yeah, it feels like fighting around the TB is what's been working for them, so if they want to disarm him and just kill all the other heroes and leave the TB, fine.
Radiant's top tower.
And that's
is
not a
under
bad
attack.
strategy at all. Cheshire Cat?
Oh, he blinks. Amazing.
You know, you do these smokes and you just like... You basically reveal your smoke in a way where the heroes that can't jump are in the front. And that just feels like super bad to see. Like normally when you smoke like that, you want the heroes with the longest reach in front, or at least like the quickest way to get in, because that way you have the lowest probability of what just happened to them happening to them. Basically, that was not a very well executed smoke.
Let's see. What a weird game this has turned into. Like, Connor actually clawing their way back. They've got the XP lead now. They've actually got the win percent advantage.
Yeah, they'll win the late game for sure. Like, Storm becomes an absolute monster. And the thing about TB is that TB is great when your team can fight around you, but his team can't fight around him during the late game. The Spectre is going to isolate heroes like Lich and Tiny, and they're just going to die. Like, these heroes can't live through a late game honk, you know? Even with a Glimmer Cape, there just needs to be like one sentry or a dust anywhere, and these heroes are just dead to rights.
No,
and then a solo TB, he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
They need more.
The mobility becomes a real issue after a while. That's the problem with Terrorblade. He does the damage, but it's always the issue with this hero. How do you keep them close enough, right? You pop meta, everybody runs away. That's why that weird Aghanims didn't make any sense to me. It's like, hey, pop my ult and everybody runs away. Like, it's kind of what I wanted to do anyway. And they can just run circles around him. That's the, you know, when I say raid boss, I mean damage, but I usually say that to also mean kind of immobile. You know, I think of like Dusa without
Radiant's
boots.
bottom
That's a
tower
raid
is
boss.
under attack.
Yeah, he definitely suffers from the old concrete feet syndrome.
Concrete feet. That's good.
Yep. That was a phrase we used in
bottom
WoW with
tower
people who
is
didn't move
under
out of
attack.
shit.
Wow. Such
Like-
a wordsmith.
Yeah, concrete feet, man. They're,
We used to just say, don't stand and fire, you fucking R-word.
Radiant's bottom
early
tower
WoW,
is
similar
under
times. People were much meaner back then.
Yeah. Yes. Especially when it came to raiding.
Yeah, there was we had a tank in our guild. We were doing BWL, doing Veil. You know, we have to like taunt chain and turn him and shit. And one of our tanks just literally would never move. Like, we would have to move the whole raid. It was interesting times.
Wow, that's some serious...
Bro, it
luxury.
was literally like 15 years ago.
I don't move.
Everyone...
The raid moves around me, for I am the main tank. What a dope mentality.
That was basically what it was, dude. It was wild.
Oh my. Hey, a smoke. What are we doing here, Cyber Legacy? Catching Pikachu. All right, can they get this kill, though? They need a little more. The taunt, the swap. They don't have it. The Primal Roar onto Excel. The Venge again. The Sacrificial Lamb keeping her core alive.
Really nice swap. Good save, good save.
TB is
Take note,
really
support
accelerating,
players.
though. Look how much faster he's farming than everyone else. He's now a full item up on Spectre, by the way.
Yeah, but that's kind of compounding the issue, right? Like, if we think about what we just talked about, and how the
Yeah.
TB is the guy who's going to get kited, then does the net worth on this hero really matter in the grand scheme of things? Because he's not only is he getting like more than anyone else on the enemy team, he's also taking away farm from his own team. Pikachu is going to find a kill on the Big Nut. So yes, the TB has to farm, but it's...
Is there anything here? BKB? No.
Nope. No
No
roar.
Primal Roar, yeah.
But it goes back to like the Naga effect, right? You choke out your own team.
Yep.
You take their farm away to give it to yourself, and then if that hero cannot solo win the game, then it doesn't give you a better chance of winning the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is necessary for him to farm, but it's like a catch-22.
It's like this weird balance where you want him to accelerate really fast, but there's this wall that comes where it's sort of like diminishing returns on the 6th item for Terrorblade relative to one of your supports having that Glimmer Cape or like that save item. You know, like the 2nd item on a support might be better than the 6th item on Terrorblade.
Yeah, that can be true in a lot of games,
Yeah.
actually. And 1 players and 2 players just, they normally don't think that way. But it can be true.
No BKB on Storm. They've got the Glimmer Cape. There's actually a little window here to try and kill him. Double damage rune on Terrorblade. Also, this is scary. They've got the taunt. No buyback.
Oh, he doesn't have buyback.
Oh,
Yikes.
no, this could be scary. There is an Aegis on TB right now. Still some time on that double damage. It's like about 15 seconds. There's the glyph.
They could just throw it, honestly.
Now, they don't know he doesn't have buyback. It is gold, not timer.
Yeah, but they can find out just by walking up a bit, you know?
Oh, yeah. They can
Dyer's
certainly
middle
test it.
barracks.
But it is scary to overcommit against the Storm buyback, too. Like, that is
Yeah, they're
one of
gonna-
buyback that can get you.
They're gonna play it safe.
I like
They have
this.
Vlad Zora, Paladin Sword and stuff.
The Shark Cat jumps in. He's going to try to delay this push, but he's getting juiced. Excel with the swap. TV coming in. A few more snowballs. That should be the end of Excel. Done. Tier 3 still taking some damage. 25 seconds on the Storm. Buyback from the Venge. Remember, there's no glyph. No more meta, though, either. TP now maybe a manageable force. Swap back in pretty deep. Sunder. Gonna make it back here. No way. They've got to at least get him once. He's gonna try to lifesteal his way through. Sustains a little, but now the Aegis gets used.
No BKB and Ravage here.
Storm up in 3. This could be the turn.
Good toss. Such a good
Cyber
toss.
Legacy trying to make it out. They'll catch the Beastmaster. Big Num also in some trouble. They're killing the Spectre, though, with Naive's down. Does have the buyback. Big Num into trade. Tenushara also falls. Cyber Legacy, they are getting punished here. They looked good when they picked up the Spectre, but the TP's interrupted. Slayer's definitely going down, and now they're hunting for more. BKB's Magical trying to live. Pikachu needs to be careful. Cheese gets eaten. They get the counter kill onto Excel. Dream and Magical actually holding steady right now. There's the BKB from Dream. That gets Cheshire Cat. Wow.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Dude,
attack.
someone tipped this Tiny. He just salvaged that whole freaking fight. He tossed the TB out to like the outskirts of the fight way in the back, and the Ravage is like, it hit him, but there was no one there.
Attack.
So he basically gets saved because his BKB was down, right? If he gets Ravaged there, he's just dead.
Yeah.
Is under attack.
Beautiful.
Radiant's
Now
bottom
Storm.
tower is under attack.
No BKB. Again, this is a big catch.
Radiant's bottom tower has
Up to the high ground we go. He lives.
Dyer's top barracks
And now
are
this
under
top lane
attack.
gets cleared out. Range barracks already fallen, and a pause. Falls a
Get a
DC.
DC. Yeah, so that whole thing kicked off a couple of things. One, the core and the support need to communicate. Like, if you're going to be farming like that with no buyback, you need to be like, Excel, please God be behind me always. Because, you know, if you die in that situation, you just saw the result. You know, no buyback right in front of your base. Like, obviously, if he knew they were there, he wouldn't stand there, but that's why you need the Venge. It's an insurance policy to make sure that worst case scenario is you just are down a Venge instead of down your mid player. So that was a bit odd that they kind of, you know, let that happen. But, you know, obviously really good play from Cyber Legacy. They had the DD rune on the TB, and they made use of the Aegis. And they're probably going to end up getting at least this top racks out of it, I would assume. I mean, if they want to use buybacks for this, they can. But it doesn't really... I don't know. It's hard to justify buying back in a situation as Tide, for example, or Spectre, because you don't have an ult. And... like, even if you do, there's no guarantee that you're gonna kill both of them. You might kill Dream because he doesn't have his own BKB yet.
Banking that they just finish off this barracks and retreat, and then you're totally fine. And
I mean, if they use one buyback, they will for sure run. Like, absolutely, they will run.
I think they'll run from just a Tide here. Oh, they're gonna run
Yeah,
anyway.
because
Okay.
they're scared of Storm, and they know that Dream doesn't have BKB. That's why.
All right, play it safe. Cyber Legacy.
I mean, you're happy with the kills, right? Like, that fight could have gone a lot worse. That Ravage connects, and you could have had a dead TB and a whole dead team there.
All these fights are so back and forth, though. At first, I thought, okay, Khan has a big opening here, and then Spectre way overcommits and ends up dying. And then that starts this chain reaction where it kind of swings again. That almost felt like two fights where Cyber Legacy sort of won both.
Well, they did have the use of the Aegis there and cheese.
Yeah.
Like they consumed both. Magical used the cheese. If he didn't have it, he was dead. Obviously, Dream would have died too.
But they also wouldn't have stuck around if they didn't have the spoils also.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they would have just went for mid after they got that one kill.
I got the vibe, like the way TB was playing that top lane especially, it after he got swapped for sure, but he was playing kind of like, yeah, I'm cool to lose the Aegis here. Let's go. Like he was really not playing to maintain longevity on that second life. Prince's Knife comes out for the Storm.
Silver Edge here on TB.
Ooh.
Spectre is gonna melt, by the way.
I like this item as a late game counter to Spectre. Ravage from Cheshire Cat to start things off. That is gonna set up a kill onto the Beastmaster, maybe even the Lich. Not the fight the Radiant wanted. A great catch from Khan. Buyback already from the Lich.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well, that's one way to use your team fight.
That's what Vision Superiority gets you. They had wards up in their jungle preemptively when Cyber Legacy were making their foray into that side of the map. They saw all of them. There was no sentry placement or anything from Cyber Legacy, so they had the perfect like angle of attack, if you want to call it that. They knew how to approach, and well, the quick couple of kills and forced buyback from the Lich. I don't actually know why he bought back. Roshan's not up.
Yeah, I don't know if he thought that it was going to be a long chase. To be fair, they do have a tier 1 tower still standing in mid, so there is an access point for him to TP to if that did end up being another one of these long fights. So
I think as soon as that Ravage hits and you lose like your beast,
it's just
can't.
Yeah, I don't know. Certainly ambitious.
Oh my.
Okay,
The old
Excel.
4-hit.
It's a round 1 knockout right there.
Dude, why didn't he just play TB the whole series? First phase this hero. Stop first phasing Void.
You're asking the right questions. I don't have the answer.
I feel like this hero is so much... There's like so much less pressure on you for... I mean, obviously there's like Phoenixes and Zeus and...
Yeah, but like in general, if you biff a meta, it's like, oh, let's go back to farming. Void's a little more, all right, I biffed a Chrono. Let's go, boys. It's time to pound him into the ground. Like it,
under attack. Dire's top
TB's just a little easier, I think. You're kind of just doing your thing.
It's my belief that you shouldn't first phase any one position, like ever, unless you have some crazy plan. But see what happens here.
KB pops from Dream, turns on an Naive. There's the break, but won't be able to chase him down. And that top lane's already dead. There's a glyph for the Dire available. Now the haunt. Of course, there's no Aegis. The Dire's starting to push out. They want Dream. He's already sundered. Now the Chain Frost will start bouncing. Dream is sustaining. They do finally kill him, but the Dire's so low. The Chain Frost bouncing all around. Both sides trying to clean up. The buyback from the Storm helping out a lot as well, but Naive gets finished off by Big Num. Another ridiculously messy fight, and down bottom, it's some support on support action. Looks like Gilger will get finished off. But now Storm comes in for the cleanup. Pikachu low on mana. He's the only one alive, but does have the Venge Illusion. That's a flicker from the Beastmaster to get out there.
That was a really lucky direction to go.
It was. It looked like a Blink Dagger at first, the way it was placed.
Yeah.
All right, so that was a win for Cyber Legacy. Storm did have to buy back there.
That was so odd, though. Did you see Dream sundered his Void Spirit?
Is that what? It all happened so fast.
He sundered him for HP when he had 3 heroes of Khan just in melee range of him.
Okay, so that explains why the Void Spirit.
Weird.
It did seem like it turned pretty bad for Cyber Legacy all of a sudden.
I mean, he was on the ramp. Perhaps he didn't have vision of all the heroes. I don't know, dude. It seems very unlikely that maybe he thought his turn time was going to kill him. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here. That was just a really weird.
I mean, it could have just been a little bit of a misclick between like the Spectre and all the other shit.
He was like the only one who was there.
Yeah.
Like if you can imagine, there were like 4 heroes fighting on the ramp, and then like, you know, max range from that to the south was where the Void Spirit was. So I don't know. was
Maybe it was vision. That would be the best explanation, right?
Yeah, it might have been.
And you just panic to try to live. So, it's such a weird game now. It's like Khan did lose the melee barracks up top, but they hold the tier 3 with plenty of extra health, and now Pikachu has hit 25, and this is where things start to get weird. Storm can now shove out waves so stupidly easily, relatively low risk. You can hold megas with this this Storm talent.
Yeah, for sure. It's incredible utility, lots of damage. You can even kill people with it if they're not paying attention. We have a saying when I play is ball does damage. Does lots of damage. So if you hit a long distance and you get a couple of remnants on top of them too, even the tankier like 2k HP heroes can die to that.
And it also, there's this other weird dynamic that happens where sometimes it's easier to just defend one lane compared to when you're trying to defend two at once and they're splitting you up. Like you have one focal point that you have to go all in to defend, and sometimes that can make it a little bit easier for the defending team. Like just having one objective that you have to worry about.
Yeah,
it's a little oxymoronic, but yeah, it's like, it's just less variable, so it makes it easier to focus. But feeling pretty rough for the 80-20 is what Dota Plus says in favor of Cyber Legacy.
20 is pretty good, actually. Get another down after
Storm, man.
Fine.
Beastmaster. Or two potential engagements breaking out, but top one that matters. Beastmaster buys back that tier 1 tower. Nice access point as Lich gets low. Slayer's dead. Chainfrost did a surprising amount of damage, but now the Ravage connects on 4. Stolen Ravage. No, that's a second Ravage. My bad. Now Big Num's in some trouble. Hedu's already died, but they do get the kill onto Pikachu. Buyback from Tiny now. That's 2 minutes on the sideline without Storm.
They can still fight if they want to. They have buyback haunt on Spectre, so.
I mean, so far it's a win for Khan, but now they're going to get punished pretty hard. Excel low, Naive needs to live here, and he will not. Does have buyback, but all of a sudden it tips back for CL. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize Tide had a refresher. Of course, Rubik and Tide are on the same team. He's stolen Ravage. Magical, though, gets caught. There's the buyback haunt. This is what gets scary with Spectre. Now, buyback on the Venge and also the Void Spirit.
Meta's down soon. They need to get out of here.
Dream's walking up to the high ground, dude.
He's got Satanic. Might be able to live with this.
A lot on the line here. Naive very low. Dream now on full HP. They're trying to hit the Tiny in the back line. Rubik the only one with buyback left. Everyone going to be stuck on the sideline. Dieback for Tiny now, but the Tide broken, low. He's done for 100. A 3 for 2 left on the map, but one of them is Dream.
TB is such a silly hero.
Having 2 ultimates is pretty cool.
Has fallen.
Oh, he's trying to clip him, I guess?
Dyer's
I don't.
Ancient
Do you even
is
want him up there with you, Gilger?
I don't know. You're playing with fire here, buddy. Gilgs?
Oh, no.
Gilgy?
That was...
Gilgs. Oh, boy. All right. So, every buyback is on cooldown except TB and Tide. They're both short a couple hundred gold, and Lich has his cooling down in just about 20 seconds.
I mean, this is free Roche. They can't do anything about this. Their Spectre's stuck defending base.
Yeah.
The wave clear heroes are dead, so there's like no way they're getting out of the base, right?
And they lost their second tier 4. So now you have 0 safety structures. It's just thrown.
Has fallen to the radiant. Dyer's Ancient is
Yeah, this is looking a little
attack.
rough. There is a Butterfly now on the Spectre. It's a nice survivability slash damage item, I suppose.
Oh, but Draskell, that was an Aghanim Scepter on the Roche, and guess who they gave it to?
Oh, they gave it to TV.
They sure did. Are you excited about this? Are you ready to see Terror Wave, buddy?
I don't think I've ever seen it in a pro game, so yeah, kinda.
I think I've seen it once. Trent and I saw it in a game where there were Terrorblade and Puck on the same team. That was cool. Puck got Aghanims,
cool.
and they got a couple stick tether. Only time I've seen it, and obviously that specific synergy makes a lot of sense. And also situations like this where it's like, I wouldn't buy that shit, but if you're gonna give it to me, I mean, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it definitely has really high value, especially in later game situations. Like every form of CC becomes more powerful just because of how much damage scaling there is. Like, it's way easier to deal damage than it is to be tanky enough to live, if that makes sense. Like, there's a lot of items that just are built specifically to kill, any sort of tanky hero.
It's a handy little save. We'll see if it actually makes a difference in the fights.
I mean, most likely what we'll see is him just popping meta to hit the tower like normal, and it won't be that.
Well, so it's different now, though, Dresco. Don't forget, it's its own spell. They buffed it. So when he goes into meta, he gets an additional skill. Yeah, that's why I'm so hyped for it, because it used to be completely shitty.
It used to be the one that just triggered off his meta, right?
Exactly. And that's why it was so counterintuitive, because it's like, wait, no, I want to hit him right when I pop meta. I'm never using meta to survive. Now you can use meta, however, and then you just get this basically terrorize around you.
That's way better.
Yeah, it has a long cooldown, though. It's like 100 seconds or something, so you only get it once. But keep an eye out. Double damage on TB, as you mentioned, the Moon Shard. No buybacks available.
If they wait, they just make it.
They gotta go. They gotta go. There's the clip. There's the Haunt. Backline. Ravage comes out. They want Magical, but he's got an Eon Disc. Second Ravage not going to do much as Cheshire Cat falls. The big fight's on the backside. It's the Storm Spirit.
That's him.
Wow. You know, I was looking at that fight from like what Terrorblade was looking at, and like Storm just went in there.
Radiant.
High risk, high reward, I guess, but
yeah. I mean, it's if the TB gets a hit. I mean, he obviously had another double damage. So that was what the mid push he had a DD, and that push bottom he had a DD as well. Pretty yeah, for sure. At that point, I would say that as the Dota buff, or Dota Plus, sorry, stats were saying that it was pretty much their game to lose. I think that Khan just really... There's always some huge problem with their lineup. Like this game, it was damage, right? Like they had Tidehunter, Rubik, Venge, and you're just looking at those three heroes and you're going, which one of you guys kill stuff again? Like there's nothing really that threatens the cores on Cyber Legacy